And we're live.
Hey. Okay. Hello to everybody who's currently watching right at 8:30 on the nose. Welcome to the season 2 finale of STYDIACAST, our live episode where we are going to have sort of an overview over everything that we did in season 2, what's to come in season 3, and of course to talk about season 6 of Teen Wolf. We're going to be looking at theories, our favorite things, the promo images that we've got, and what's going to be happening on Tuesday. It's in 2 days, y'all.
So, what is it? I thought it was next week.
I mean, if after all of that they were like, due to technical difficulties, Teen Wolf will be back December, blah, 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 I'd probably jump off a building. So, anyways, I am Rachel. I'm going to be running this. You can find me on Tumblr at It's Always Lydia. And I am joined by everyone. Just have at it. Who are you?
I'm Rachel. I'm Rongasm on Tumblr.
I'm Claire. I'm Fudgy the Whale on Tumblr.
I'm Maggie. I'm Red String Banshee on Tumblr.
And I'm Rosemary, and I'm Row Your Boat on Tumblr.
Okay, so I already went over what we're going to be doing this episode. Mostly it's going to be questions. We have a chat set up, I think, that people can talk into. Is that a thing? Okay, that is a thing.
Let me double check on its functioning, but yes.
It exists. Does it work? I don't know.
Who knows?
We got some really incredible responses in terms of amount of questions for this episode, which made us all really, really excited and really happy every time we got a new one, especially today. I freaked out at Rachel and Maggie because I was thinking, oh my god, they really want to talk to us.
Oh, yeah. The chat's working. Confirmed. Chat's working.
Hey, guys!
Yay, humans!
Wait, is someone chatting us?
Oh, yeah, there's lots of chats going on.
Wait, how does this happen? How do I see
it? Chat?
Okay, yeah, if you go to the top right.
My chat just says that it's us, and that's boring.
Yeah, that one's just because we're looking at the actual control room stuff. I'm just chatting everybody sitting in chat right now. That's the thing.
Okay, so does someone want to look at that chat?
Won't that make noise if we click on it? Everybody mute it.
Chat right now.
Okay. So does someone want to look at that chat?
Won't that make noise if we
There's a delay, can you tell? There's a little bit of delay. If you're sending us questions, it'll be a couple seconds before we get it.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I would recommend muting that other page if you have it open, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
And can someone else monitor that? Because I'm going to be looking with all the different colored pens that I broke out for tonight.
I love different colored pens.
There's 8 of them. I have 8 different colors. Okay, so
let's do this.
Yeah, to start, what we know so far for season 6. The big bad is the Wild Hunt. They're taking Styles at the end of episode 1, and Lydia witnesses this. I'm going through really quickly, so I know I'm missing a lot. Everybody is going to forget Styles and everybody else who was taken, but we are 99% sure that Lydia is going to be the first person to remember him, and it's going to be her that spearheads everybody else remembering him. Scott probably wants to save everyone that is in that bunker with Styles. Gotta love him. Yeah. Theo is back thanks to 2.0 deciding that they need him, potentially to deal with the werewolf Nazi guy who the Dread Doctor has resurrected. That plot has been really unclear.
Maybe that means that won't happen very much. Sorry.
I mean, that's the goals, really. We don't really know much about Malia's plotline. She is going to be doing a full shift. And we've seen behind the scenes where she's potentially filming with 2.0, so maybe she's going to work with them and there's going to be tension with Theo. But we don't even know what these cryptic romantic tension things that they've been dropping are, because Will Wallace said, not the teacher, not Theo. I didn't even know there was a door number 3. So, and the 2.0 pack, we also don't know too much about. Corey's going to be kind of helping with the Wild Hunt. That was in a teaser. But it mostly seems like what they're trying to do is figure out how they're going to be able to fill Scott's main pack's shoes once they all go to college, and they're not going to necessarily be super successful at that right away because there was a
At college, I think they're going to be very successful at college.
Well, they will, but 2.0, I mean, isn't going to be very successful as like stepping in as main characters, and no one saw that coming.
Because 1.0 was so great at it when they first tried.
I mean, but I don't think it's a deficit in terms of like starting out. I think it's a deficit in terms of character.
What are you talking about?
I think it's more about
as a final note,
watch 2.0 try to make a go at it.
This one review said that Liam was like, I want to be an alpha just like Scott, and he basically side eyes him. So
we're all side eyeing him.
I know the reviewer said that she was like 2. And as a final note, I miss Kira Yukimura. But so that's like kind of the broad overview, the broadest of strokes overview of season 6. We also know that season 6A is going to be tied in some way into season 6B. They're not going to be very segmented seasons the way I think some people were initially thinking they might be. There's going to be something that ties them over, kind of like the way that the ice bath tied into 3A and 3B. It was really minor, but in the end, if they hadn't done that, then the entire Nukitsune plot wouldn't have happened. So, with that in mind...
I got triggered.
Your face was zoomed in on my screen, too, so I got to watch the trigger. So, for our first question, I'm going to go with one that's actually not really anything to do with the show. This is one of the ones that came in super late and was super cute. How are you girls holding up this week? It's been rough for everyone. I'm sure everyone could love to hear how you're doing on the live cast. We look up to you and you help us so much. From an anonymous person on Tumblr. So how are we doing?
This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's been a week. I live in New York. There's been lots of protests and things going on, and stay strong, everybody. Look for your friends. That's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw Claire this weekend. Claire came up to see me, and it was really nice. We saw Something Rotten on Friday night, and Adam Pascal's gorgeous. There's still good in the world, so
yeah,
push through, carry on.
I have something cheesy to say.
Oh, really?
But the night before the election results came in, the Rachels and I were all chatting, and they were like updating me with the process. And good night, we were just saying over and over again, I love you so much, I love you so much. And then in the morning, again, just flooded with texts of like, I love you and I'm here for you. And oh my God, don't get emotional, it's totally fine. But that morning was, I think, a very hard morning for a lot of us. But through STYDIACAST, we've kind of developed this like quasi sisterhood, and I am just so thankful that that everybody was just surrounding me with love that day. And I just wanted to say that Rachel said something like, the world is making you feel very small right now, but I don't feel very small when I talk to them. They don't make me feel that way. And I think the way to get through this situation is together. And so look for your friends and know that you're not alone. And I'm just really thankful for these ladies for not making me feel so alone. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I was going to share similar sentiment, basically.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of love from people who I talked to online and from who were still online, because I tweeted, I'm up watching the election results and I have such high anxiety, I can't sleep, and my parents went to bed like 2 hours ago. And that was just like how it's been carrying through since then, is that I still have a lot of anxiety and I still am online all the time. So it's been really great to have this community of women, literally just women, to talk to and know that I have a safe space here and that there's just such high positive regard that we all have for each other. That's really been what's made the week easier.
For me, I spent a lot of time like answering asks on the day after the election and the day after the election. And I'm a political science major as well as an English major. So this is an area that I'm always interested in, but I try not to talk about as much on my Tumblr because I need it to be a safe space from school. But I think that it became a necessity in that day to listen to other people's stories and understand how they felt because everybody is really scared right now. And I got an overwhelming amount of messages from people who were telling me how they were feeling, and it was extremely both heartbreaking and touching and just made me feel fiercely protective of this world and the people in it because I feel like I know that everything feels very dark right now, and like Maggie said, like I feel very small. Like I've never been afraid to be Jewish before, but I feel afraid right now. And I just think that despite that, the way to not feel small is to surround yourself with people who want to take care of you and you want to take care of them. And if we all care about each other, then we can work towards some sort of positive change. And for me, the beginning of that was listening to people on Tumblr and answering asks and letting them know that I could hear them. And it meant quite a lot to me that people felt comfortable enough with me to go into my inbox and talk about what they were afraid of and that they felt like I was the person they wanted to tell. It was very touching for me. So, yeah.
We're fine. It's all good.
We're fine.
Claire, how was your week?
My week actually, even before the election, was really shitty. So I was in a pretty vulnerable spot. So I actually had an opposite reaction, and I stayed off social media for a while because anyone who knows me knows I have slight anger issues and knew that looking at any of that wasn't going to help me at all. But I have to say I did go back on probably Thursday afternoon, I think, and once I did and I saw, I'm lucky enough to have a mostly positive feed, and I surround myself with those kinds of people, and it was really, really great to see the positivity and the encouragement. Because like me, I'm negative, and I was just expecting to see a lot of horrible stuff when I came back on, and there, of course, was, but just the way that people are banding together now, I'm not one to be really, like, outwardly, yay, go people, but it's really, it's really been nice to see, and I was actually, like Rosemary said, we were in New York this weekend, and there were really small instances of solidarity. Like this one shop had black paper in its window and little signs, and one of them was said everything was going to be okay.
They had a big political show before everything happened, and they switched everything after the election, of course, and it was.
It's just nice to know that those people exist, and I think that together we are going to be okay.
Before we move on, I wanted to share this before, but I forgot because I got emotional. What? Anyways.
We have no feelings and no emotions whatsoever.
Nope.
Here. Never. That's why we have a podcast on a fictional ship. But this is one of my favorite quotes, and it's actually on my Facebook, and it's been on my Facebook, I think, since undergrad, so about like 6 years ago. In the depth of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. And that makes me happy, for it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. And that's really just been how I felt this entire week. It doesn't matter how shitty the outside is going to get. I know that, like, closer to me, there's so much more positivity, and that's what I just need to focus on. So, two idiots who still haven't kissed, say what? Now that we all got the skills fest out.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of nice positivity going on in our chat right now.
I love you guys.
Claire just got a shout out for her Veronica Mars poster.
Oh my god!
Yep.
I backed on Kickstarter. That's how I got it. What?
Nice.
Moving on.
So, okay, we're going to go with this one. So back to the premiere specifically of Teen Wolf, which is why we're here, not for feelings. not for
This is STYDIACAST therapy hour.
What are you looking forward to in the premiere and the season in terms of Stydia? So like big, broad, beautiful world in front of you.
I want to go.
Okay, Rachel.
Okay.
Surprise.
So listen, I know this is really out of character for me, but this season I'm really looking forward to Lydia. Because I feel like the whole series, listen, I don't need your sass. I feel like the whole series has been Styles' perspective of their relationship, and I really feel like this is going to be switching POVs around a little bit, and I love that because it almost feels like, I always say that I don't think that the writers would get them together unless they felt that Lydia had the same level of being in love with Styles as Styles had with Lydia. But at the same time, we as viewers didn't get to see that, because if we find out that Lydia has feelings for Styles, like 3 ships get demolished. And
that's actually something that Rachel and I talked about when we first started talking. Like pre-season 5, we were like, you know what would ruin like everyone's day in terms of multi-shipping? If Lydia was just like, I have a crush on Styles Stilinski. Game over.
So they had to hide Lydia's feelings for such a long time, but they can't anymore because she's literally the thread that pulls this plot through the season, is the impression that I'm getting. Like, and so I'm really excited to see that parallel where Styles' feelings aren't around and Lydia is truly the only thread that is carrying the entire relationship. Like,
Oh no.
Oh no!
Rachel, come
She
back.
do anything to get him back, and that fucks me up. What? I froze, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You came back in and that fucks me up.
That fucks me up.
Like you clearly had hyped yourself up over the course of like a sentence, and then we only got the end of the sentence.
I was just gonna say that.
So, what fucks you up?
What doesn't?
Well, what doesn't fuck you up is the real question. I was just saying that I like the fact that the whole season is going to be built around Lydia's feelings for Styles and getting like the opposite perspective where Styles had feelings for Lydia before and it was all about that. Now it's all about Lydia's feelings for Styles, and that carries the entire plot through for the rest of the season. So I think we're going to learn a lot more about how Lydia feels about Styles, like crush-wise and like romantically, and that just like, that makes me feel some type of way.
Excellent. Oh wait, did everybody else freeze now?
No.
Is everyone still good?
We're
not
frozen in thought.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the next. Did anyone else have anything they want to add?
I want to add something. If I
Okay, Maggie. Okay.
True to form, I'm really excited for the angst that's gonna happen.
Oh.
Because,
I second that motion.
particularly, I'm very excited about the scene where Lydia is crying on one side of the wall while Styles is sitting on the other. I'm really looking forward to how they address that, and like praying to God that he can hear her broken sobs. It would just be fantastic for me. I am just really excited because and Rachel, you spoke upon this before about it's nice because we'll be able to see Lydia's perspective on the relationship. But the angst that she's going to go through, like missing him and pining over this boy that is has been wiped from everyone's collective memory, and she just feels like something so strongly is missing and not knowing what that is, and that's Styles. And I'm just
Everybody
really
in the
looking
chat
forward to
very
that.
much agrees. They can't wait to
Yeah.
close this. I'm so excited to see Lydia's reaction to Styles telling her he loves her. I can't wait to hear the words "I love Styles Stilinski" come out of Lydia Martin's mouth. I'm so here for it.
Just more
Is the
words.
actual queen.
More words.
Amen. Amen,
Yeah.
sisters.
Just-
Women love words.
It's true, but like
It is
it's specifically with this, piggybacking off what Rachel said with they can't give away Lydia's game because then that's the end game. They've had to be really subtle with it. That's why most of the clues that have been explicit during season 5 were all Styles related. Like he still likes her. Oh yeah, Styles saved me, and he got to feel really proud in that moment. And like it's just like it's been so subtle from Lydia's end, and this is not going to be subtle on Lydia's end. And
Yeah. Lydia. It'd be awesome.
Get wrecked.
okay, so over the past 8 months, RIP all of us during this hiatus.
Oh my God.
The
Don't even.
first The first 8 minutes were shown. There were 2 trailers, one at San Diego Comic-Con and one on October 6th, and a video clip the week before the premiere. Do you think all of this is too much footage or not? Why?
No, it is not too much. I know I've said this before, but I don't think that first 8 minutes is the first 8 minutes. I think there's some things that they left out. I do. I think there's some things they left out. Timeline. Rachel and I talked about this before, where I think there are some things timeline-wise that just don't add up, and that excites me. I think it was a good tease. I don't think there's ever too much of a marketing tease. If anything, I would have wanted more. Give me some more. As long as they don't give away the game completely, like, give me.
Yeah. I would say 516 is a perfect example of that because we got so much spoiled of the Lydia rescue, and then we were still shocked by like the last 10 minutes of the episode, which is so full of good content.
Absolutely. That's a great example.
So,
Also, I feel personally that if we got all of this at one time, I would lose it. Like, I needed to react in my own way to each of these individual moments. Like, as it is, I'm making one of my best friends wear a glove on her hand so I can squeeze it without worrying about hurting her. Like, I need to see them slowly. This is good.
Well, and when you add up all that we've gotten, we really don't have that much. It's just little teases here and there. Like,
yeah, but we have an I love you.
I think it's a lot.
That's why
but
it
it's
seems like a
really
lot.
not.
Yeah. We have an I love you, so it seems epic, but it's really not that much that we've got.
I was gonna say, and then there's a writer who does reviews on Twitter who said the I love you isn't even her favorite thing that Styles says like in that scene, and everyone was like, wait.
Well, what always gets me is the context. Context is the musical.
Mm-hmm.
Context is what I need.
Yes, this reviewer on Twitter could totally be talking about, like, she could just like some dumb line that he says, and for some reason that trumps an I love you. I don't trust.
No, she's a Stydia shipper, though. She's a Stydia shipper. You don't understand how good she's been to us.
I don't trust her. I don't know her.
I do. I trust her with my life.
Maggie's like my favorite person right now. You don't understand.
Yeah. I do not trust anyone. Thank you.
Well, Claire, you have a heart of steel.
Yeah,
so
I guess battle it
wrap
out.
up is I guess the wrap up on that is no more. And I'm totally not sorry about this, but if they leaked all of 601 and I could watch it, I would, because this hiatus has been so long, and because
we're gonna die. I'm ready. Is what the comment says.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the season 5 got leaked like a couple hours before the premiere, and my ass was like, I'm not gonna watch it. Psych. Yes, I am. And I logged on and watched it, and then I watched it live too. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. Like, if it got leaked, I want more. I'm craving it. We've been waiting.
While we crave illegal things, we do not condone illegal things at all.
Yeah, no, and if we had it, we wouldn't leak it because that would be irresponsible.
Piracy is not a victimless crime. That is what the ads tell us.
Do you guys remember that dumb Vine of Dylan and Tyler being like, "Bro, are you gonna watch the leak finale?" No, bro. Okay.
Dude, if it leaked and they recorded a Skype reenactment of that, I would consider not rewatching it. But since Dylan O'Brien don't know it, Teen Wolf anymore, if it leaks, I'm gonna watch it.
This is a Dylan O'Brien negativity free zone. I am sick of Dylan O'Brien negativity.
That was it. That and the shower.
At the same time, does the show have anything to lose if they did leak things before? No, it's the last season. Ratings don't matter. Ratings haven't mattered for several years now because #internet.
And the other thing is that it's really convenient how we got that kiss me thing leaked. So
yeah,
on Camp MTV did that.
That wasn't an accident.
Oh yeah.
That was not an accident.
No. The fact that it was one week apart and one was 2 weeks, I was like, and it was the same scene. I was like, all right, we all know what's going down here.
Okay, so next question, kind of in line with what we were talking about, what we wanted with the season. Who do you think will be the first to discover that Lydia and Styles have real romantic feelings for each other, and how do you think they're going to react? And I think that who do you think can be used as everybody, not just Styles and Lydia. That's how I'm taking it, because I've always said I think Scott's going to be the one who
Scott
catches it.
Well, Scott
and then he's
already knows.
Well, yeah, but he's gonna be like really no or something, and then I think he's gonna finally give the push to either Styles or Lydia, depending on who he spends time with in the episode, just to be like, have you not noticed?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Sheriff
Scott,
for
but
the win. Sheriff for the win.
oh my gosh.
I had this theory based on one of the lines that like Scott was like talking to Styles, or I'm assuming it's Styles, about like taking advantage of opportunities as a senior. And I like had this theory that like Scott was gonna be like, hey, Styles, you shouldn't sit out at these things. Like you should take Lydia to prom. And Styles is like, no, I don't want to like take Lydia to prom and watch her like dance with some other guy. And Scott's like, listen, I'm tired.
I think that quote's about the yearbook, though. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Rachel, you take away all my joy.
But listen, I think you're right about how Scott and Styles are talking about Lydia from that
scene in the hallway scene?
First tease, yeah, where they're walking down the hallway and Holland is waiting in the chair, clearly for her cue to walk the other way. So I do think that they're talking about Lydia in that scene.
Styles and Lydia
Can we have
walking
a
down
Lizzie
a hallway
McGuire?
together.
Yeah. Can we have a Lizzie McGuire yearbook moment?
Oh my God.
Don't ever change.
You're the best.
Don't ever change.
There's just so much like you idiots.
Don't ever change, seriously.
Yeah, we'll probably have to
down
look for 6B for that, though, because they're just taking their pictures for 6A.
As long as they're kind to Malia about it. Like, I would love for Malia to just have this moment where she's, like, looking back and forth at Styles and Lydia, and she's just, like, you know, like, making that Malia face.
Yeah. The Malia phase.
We all know what you're talking
Like,
about by that face.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, oh, okay, cool, whatevs.
Yeah, and, like, I would like it to be comical, but also, like, you know.
Well, I think it is going to be comical. That was another tease.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Entertainment Weekly said it's, like, best funny moment. Malia realizes that Lydia, and everyone was like,
Club Styles!
what? And it's funny. Oh, Malia doesn't care. Good. Which is because they did the time jump, I think, like, was the only logical solution. Because when Rachel and I were talking about this, technically Styles and Malia were together for all of season 5, and the last time they kissed was in 501.
Sorry.
Lauren says, "Don't even joke about Stydia prom." Okay.
Sorry, Lauren.
Sorry, Lauren.
She's looking at her phone background and like sighing. So we all think that they're not going to realize it themselves initially. The first person in the episode is going to be somebody else.
Yeah, I'm betting Scott.
It better be Scott. He's been here
That's
for
gonna be
all
the
of this.
catalyst.
Like,
Scott is too dumb. Scott is so dumb.
I know.
Shut your fucking mouth, Claire! Are you kidding me?
She means adorably dumb. She doesn't mean like dumb. Like I know what you mean,
like,
Claire.
I love Scott McCall like so much. But dude does not know what's going on.
yes, he does. He can.
He's the reason that we have this. He still likes her.
Claire!
I'm just saying, I don't think
Kira started that. It'll be a moment where like other things add up, and then he notices.
Yes.
He will be led to notice it. He'll be the one to make the first one.
Go.
He will make the first. He will be the first one to make the observation.
Yes, I don't think he's gonna be first. I really don't.
I think.
No,
I'd be first. I'm gonna be first, Claire.
But he wasn't surprised. She wasn't like, Styles still likes Lydia. And Scott was like,
What?
yeah. He was like, yeah.
No, I'm just saying he's not going to be the first person to point it out. That's fine. Everyone can be against me. You think I'm the first one in my life?
Claire,
I
who's
just
gonna be
think-
the first person? Who do you think, Claire?
She said the sheriff.
The sheriff? Oh, okay.
I don't think he's going to be around for long enough in the episode.
Yeah, me. I
Just
don't think so.
the
either.
other thing is that I think that the episode is going to be very, very tightly concentrated around the high school
The high
once the
school.
action gets going. And he's there in the beginning, and he's there to not remember his son at the end.
Ouch.
So I don't know if he's going to
Hey,
be
the comments.
around.
Bailey in the comments agrees. I love Scott, but Claire's right. Boy's oblivious.
Oh,
Leanne
shit,
says,
y'all.
"Sweet Scotty
Thank you
boy,"
for
but
that.
agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Dang.
No,
Y'all,
Scott's got
I'm with
chemo
Rachel and
signals on
Maggie.
his
Scott's
side.
gonna know.
Scott's got the chemo signals.
I
thought
think
it was
Styles
dead.
going to do something
How's that
ridiculous. Scott is going to do something, or Styles is going to do something ridiculous. Like his shirt's going to ride up, and all of a sudden Scott's going to look over at Lydia, and she's just staring, and he's going to kind of inhale a little bit and be like,
that goes right into my Happy Trail headcanon. Hello.
No.
once a week.
Guys, we don't need to talk about Happy Trail headcanons right now. Let's do the next question.
Okay.
okay,
Yeah,
fine.
moving on.
Fine. This question isn't going to be any better in terms of like losing it, but your personal reaction.
Wait. People expected us to be calm through this thing?
I was just saying, Claire, if you're trying to redirect to make the emotions go down, the next question is not something that's going to make the emotions go down.
No, she doesn't want the emotions to go down. She wants all y'all to stop disagreeing with her.
About Happy Trail?
No, just I think we don't need to go into Happy Trail because then we never will answer any more questions.
Okay.
Fine. But your personal reaction to / what is your favorite thing about the I love you scene? I was at work when this got unlocked, and that was fun. Huh?
So Rachel's the reason we got that scene because she figured out the puzzle. So everybody clap for Rachel. Thank you.
Our friend is brilliant. What's new?
I had a lot of help with the guy who set it up on Teen Wolf. He was like, he was telling me where to go, basically, because no one was figuring it out. And he said, "You look at this." Oh.
So
Love you, Zach. You're my favorite.
he's great. So I was sitting in class next to a girl who I was in a Harry Potter club with in middle school, and we just like coincidentally are in the same class at this university. Anyways,
Just
fun fact.
ignoring that part.
Actually, I started the Harry Potter club. I'm going to be real honest with all of you.
Not
It was my Harry Potter club. Anyways, so I was sitting next to her, and like we haven't seen each other in like years, and so the trailer comes out, and I just start like I'm sitting at my desk like watching it, and like class hasn't started yet, and I'm just going like, and she's like, and I'm like, hey Maddie. And then I just like look back at my computer like, oh my god, I'm like jumping up and down. It was really embarrassing, and I think my professor thinks that I'm crazy, but I'm not even sorry because the semester's almost over anyways, and I'll never have him again.
I didn't notice it. Oh god, it must have been like the next night, and I texted Rachel, and I was like, "Did something happen? People are freaking." And you were like, "Where have you been?" And I was like, "I work and shit, and I have been off Tumblr." Yeah, I was just excited.
I unlocked the trailer while I was at work. Sorry, everyone.
You're good. I have no room to talk at work at all, and I was just like, "Oh, did something happen?"
Wait, but
Rachel's like,
didn't
"This
I
happened last
text
night."
you if something happened too? Because I didn't know either.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, did something happen? Oh my god!
Teen Wolf seems more lit lately. What's going on?
one of my friends, Leanne, she's always she's been off Tumblr for like ever because she's been doing work stuff, and she just like comes back after like the whole hiatus. She's like, "So Rachel, what's been going on in the Teen Wolf fandom?" And I'm like,
What hasn't been going on?
it's been like 4 months, dude. I don't even know what's going on in the Teen Wolf fandom.
The world has changed. Everything's changing.
Well,
I think my favorite part about the video is just that he calls her smart first.
oh my god.
And I think that's the most attractive thing ever is when a guy calls a girl smart first. And that's why it's not you're beautiful, it's you're smart. And he always goes back to that. And I have feelings about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the trailer dropped when I also was at work, and the Rachels were texting me, and then Rachel Rongasm texted me and was like, "Where the hell are you?"
Yeah, no,
She's
we have a Twitter general like group chat, and then we jumped to actual messaging because we needed like the pop-ups to come attack her.
Mhm. So I saw he said "I love you" to Lydia, and my brain short-circuited. And then I teach music to preschoolers. I literally left the classroom, went into the bathroom, closed the door, and watched the trailer, and was like, "Sorry, guys." I used the bathroom, came back out. That's how dedicated I am.
They don't let me watch trailers at work anymore because when the Gilmore Girls trailer came, I started crying at my desk. So now that I lost my YouTube privileges, but I now try not to watch trailers in public anymore because it really lost me.
It was so good though. That trailer. Oh my god.
Surprisingly, I was super chill about it. And by
This is
surprisingly, I
not
mean not.
shocking.
And I watched it and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. He loves her. Okay."
Claire, I don't
And-
understand you.
Claire's.
I was really excited, but you know, and then I probably just like I don't even know. I moved on.
Very cool.
And then
Okay.
I didn't sleep that night though, so that was really
Not because of that.
not.
Yeah,
not-
no, I mean, the funniest thing to me was, like, I unlocked it, and I sent the link to Rachel and Maggie, and then I have another Twitter group chat that has Raina, Kay, and Jen in it. So that's Fuck Yeah, Styles and Lydia, Styles, Banshee, and Lydia, Scotty. And I was outside, because I had ran outside so no one could see me as I screamed and did this. And I text the trailer to them, and then I like run across the parking lot back into my office, and Raina just starts messaging me going, Rachel, he said I love you. Did you hear what he said at the end? Was that I love you? And I was just like, I get to my cubicle to watch it, which in retrospect was a bad idea. And I'm just like hands over headphones, staring at my phone like,
Oh my gosh.
So that was fun. That was a good 2 lost lunch periods for Stydia. All right. Do you think we will get a kiss?
Duh.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
The lipstick. We've all
Yeah.
seen it.
No, we've all seen how swollen Dylan O'Brien's thin ass lips get in those 2 different shots.
He has
That's
the
what we
prettiest Cupid's bow ever. I can't live like this anymore.
Okay. So some of us believe that Styles will give Lydia a speech about how he loves her and how he believes in her, but how do you think Lydia would react to all of this? And then as a side note, by the way, thank you for the effort you always put into STYDIACAST because it made the hiatus less painful. You're welcome.
Thank
We
you.
do it because we love you. So, how's Lydia going to react to the speech if there is one?
I haven't even thought about
there is
that.
one.
There will be one, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I always think about what Styles would say, but I've yet to think about Lydia's reaction to it. I think there'll be
I
like
think
a
I
lot
haven't
of
thought
wet
about it because I
eyes.
want to be surprised.
What was that?
I think I haven't thought about it because I want to be surprised, and I usually don't. I'm the type of person that I read the last page of the book first. That's one thing that I just kind of want to see how it happens.
I feel like
I just knowing that it will makes me happy.
yeah, I feel like if there's gonna be a speech though, it's gonna be in that moment that we saw in the car.
Yeah.
Including
Yeah,
that.
I think that's what the asker meant.
Well, I think he's totally gonna be ripped away before she gets to say anything. Like flat out anything.
I think
Lauren
they'll go on
says
that
there's
page.
totally going to be a speech. Boy's going to galvanize speech her again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ooh, girl.
I don't see her having the opportunity to say anything. Because I think that's gonna make it even worse emotionally.
I don't know if she would say anything. I think
I
it's
don't know that
Lydia.
she would know how to say anything.
Yeah, it would,
Well, I
that's
think it's
something where
really
you
see
like
that
a
her
moment.
actions in a response. I think this season's going to be her actions proving.
And I think it's also gonna be she's gonna try so hard because she didn't get to say anything back either. And that's just
Absolutely.
gonna motivate her even more.
I like it.
Oh, Claire.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I
I'm
say-
gonna offer a converse opinion.
Sure.
Just because I look, you guys could totally be right, and I agree with you, but just to play devil's advocate a little bit, Rachel and I talk very frequently about Styles and Lydia's boundaries and like how we feel about like the way Styles is very respectful of what he like wants Lydia like what Lydia wants him to do, because he knows that their friendship can be considered very tentative because he has that whole like history of having the gigantic ass crush on her, and he doesn't want her to feel uncomfortable in their relationship. And so I personally think that Lydia will have to at least say one thing at some point in the episode that we have not heard her say before and that he has not heard her say before, to give him an inclination that for him to go on and on about how he feels about her is acceptable. Like, I don't think necessarily that Styles...
And for him to just
even if
kiss
he
her on the
wanted to
cheek after
remove-
he says no. Like,
Yeah.
even
exactly.
more than the I love you. Because the I love you can say, like, was a desperation call. But, like, that kiss needs to have a preamble.
I
More
think
than
that he wouldn't kiss her, well, first on the cheek, yeah, but also, like, on the mouth. Like, he wouldn't without some sort of express indication that she was okay with it. Like, I really firmly believe that. And so I think that at some point during this episode, Lydia, she might not go on, like, an eloquent speech, like, I knew I loved you before I met you, blah, 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 blah. You know, sorry, that was a song lyric. That wasn't actually anything we
It's like, what?
but I think that she'll say or do something, and that there will be a reaction that we will get to treasure in our souls always.
Yeah, no,
Oh, there's
definitely.
definitely gonna be some sort of something in the episode to give consent, shall we say, in the rest of Styles' actions. I just don't think
And it
that
won't
she's
take
gonna
points
get
in a basement.
Yes, I just don't think she's gonna get a chance to say anything post his actual speech, if there will be one in the car.
Yeah, and there was like a gif that somebody made of like how seamless is the I remember I love you to like the pulling, and like maybe there could be a beat in between, but it's almost like his body is in almost the exact same position when he says, like, remember I love you, and then you see him go, like, back.
He's gonna get pulled right after he says that. Like, I'm calling it now.
I want Lydia to say something maybe in the middle of him talking. Maybe that's the way to have, like, the best of both worlds, is she kind of can get a word in edgewise, and then he really goes in.
Well, there'll definitely be reciprocation. Like, we will know that Lydia likes Styles and Styles likes Lydia before the episode ends.
Oh, absolutely. That was that's thankfully been one of the things we've been able to cling on to from when season 5B ends, is that, as Jeff said, oh yeah, by 6:01 you're gonna know exactly lies. So amen. Let me see. Do you sorry. Well, we actually kind of already
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Do you know the Muffin Man? I watched that last night.
Wait, so you watched Hairspray and Shrek in one day?
Yes!
And then Tangled.
amazing.
Rosemary, can we watch Hairspray because I need to?
Yes,
So we did. So, how do you think?
When you think about it, Shrek is just animated hairspray.
That's why we
Okay,
want to
moving on from Shrek.
No, I don't think that has evidence. How do you think the car scene right before Styles get taken will go down? We've kind of already talked about this, where, like, you know, they get there, they can't leave. Then there's the speech. At some point they kiss. Hopefully Lydia can say something back, and then he gets taken. I think we're all more or less on that page, right? We kind of talked about it before.
Wait, my question. What happens to the Jeep when he's gone?
It's
Stays
Stays
He's at the school.
parking lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember
That's
that
just-
behind-the-scenes photo of Malia, Scott, and Lydia running to the Jeep, and
Probably not, because I missed like half the behind the scenes photos, if we're being honest.
there was a shot in the trailer too where Malia is standing with her arms crossed, and it's night outside of his Jeep.
And then you can see the other angle has Lydia, and the Jeep is in the background.
And they're just like, oh, there's this Jeep here? That just
Well,
makes
Lydia,
Well,
for
Lydia
some
finds
reason,
it.
yeah, like in that Snapchat story that they were doing back when they thought they would promote their show.
right.
They showed the behind the scenes of Holland as Lydia sprinting to the parking lot, and then Scott and Malia eventually catching up to her, and she's standing in front of the Jeep, and then they're looking around the Jeep to figure out why
Whose
she
ugly
ran
Jeep
out
is
here.
this?
Seriously, like, oh, this shit doesn't even look like it would run.
I drive it.
So, I mean, but we don't know what episode that is, because I think everybody thought that was episode 2 stuff, but then, like, her hallway scene, I don't know. Anyways, Lydia finds the Jeep. Eventually, I think it gets back to Sheriff, and that's how she ends up at the Stolinsky house to do all of the wall stuff of emotion.
Ooh, that's smart.
Also, the weird thing is that
GIFs.
the crying against the wall scene is a different episode from the scene where she's like, because you loved him. So,
Yeah.
like, she's wearing a different outfit, and, like, so that, like, dashes a couple of theories that were in my inbox that, like, they were going to happen in the same episode, which I'm pumped about.
I wrote a
More of
wallpaper theory.
development.
Go read it, everyone.
Nerd.
Yeah. I think the wall scene is actually the same as the episode where she finds the Jeep because she's wearing the same outfit. I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What I was confused about is we thought that was, like, the next day, but unless they use a different voiceover in the trailer, she's got that banging cardigan and skirt outfit where she says, like, oh, I could have sworn that I was going to meet somebody. So unless, like, they have a really quick, like, 2-day thing, like, I don't know. It's hard to tell with Teen Wolf, especially because we all thought that the running out to the Jeep scene was going to happen during the day because they filmed it during the day.
And it's nice.
But I shit you not, folks. Teen Wolf made it night. They made it darker. They made it harder
That's what
to
they do.
see.
Surprise! They made it darker.
R.I.P. Teen Wolf lighting.
All of you pay way more attention to things like clothing than I do. I miss all of that.
Seriously.
I try to buy most of the clothing, so it helps me to know what they look like.
Yeah, you're talking.
Okay, see, that is a good reason.
Okay. So, okay, do you think any of the
Bailey,
Teen Wolf characters...
On the chat says someone donate to the Teen Wolf lighting department.
Please and
Our
thank you.
last live cast, we said we were going to start a Kickstarter, and we didn't, and I guess this is what we get for not caring about them. Like, oh, no one paid up for
One
lighting
light
for
bulb.
us.
Its name is Ray.
Right? Like, I guess we have to spend all our money on making shit darker.
Just like someone give them a gobo or something, please.
I don't know. It's
Like a
truly
fluorescent
baffling.
one.
It's truly, truly baffling. Because they do night shoots all the time. Like, they know how to shoot at the dark.
Yeah.
They have one gobo. It is the moon.
And it's the same one I used throughout high school.
There is one moon gobo in the entire world. There is.
It's true. They've been shooting by the light of that moon a lot lately, too.
Sometimes I just picture Jeff Davis like sitting down at the monitor and like stroking his chin and going, "No, darker."
Dimmer. I could almost see a facial expression on Tyler Posey over there, and I can't have that.
Oh my god.
Leanne in the chat says, "I'll start a GoFundMe," and Diana says, #Save Teen Wolf's lighting.
We're so mean to the lighting.
It's not their fault.
There is one light bulb. Its name is Ray.
Ooh, that's a good name for a light bulb.
Yeah, it is. Did you also watch The Princess and the Frog recently?
Yeah, she did.
Rosemary
That's
froze,
cool.
so I don't even know if she has like a reaction to that.
She's horrified.
Okay. So tracking a little bit away from Stydia for a brief moment. Do you think any of the Teen Wolf characters will be in relationships this season other than the ones we are already aware of? For example, Layden and Stydia. And that's kind of the confusing thing that I mentioned before with Malia, is that they referenced that Malia was going to have, in the Entertainment Weekly article, another romantic interest. But Tyler Posey has been pushing that Scott's going to be single. Like,
I
Tyler
think-
has been pushing
I
single
like.
Scott. Will Wallace said, why would she want to be with Theo? He shot her and left her to die. And then when the teacher, who is, again, the Nazi werewolf in disguise, so the fact that he gets a plotline like this at all is horrifying. There's a teacher who is going to catch the eye of more than one student, and people asked him, okay, we have a Malia romantic tease and a teacher romantic tease, what the hell? And he said, no, teachers and students don't sleep with each other on Teen Wolf. So unless it's like...
Kate's reaction to that.
No, but cops and high schoolers do.
I know, see, don't even get me started.
I think if both Malia and Scott don't know Styles exists, I totally think that can happen.
I agree, but we've heard countless times that Scott's going to be single this season, so...
And it's
I
what
want
Posey
him to be
wanted.
single.
So, like,
I want him to be
I think that
single,
if they were to start the season off with that as like a funny thing where like Scott and Malia start dating and then they get their memories back and back off, I could see that. But like when that's all he knew about season 6, he was pushing single Scott.
But that doesn't mean it's true.
I mean, I guess I could have done crazy hella rewrites, but
I mean, but they're really gonna bring in yet another character for Malia to have a love interest in?
oh, they brought in a fresh crop of white boys from the farm.
Another? We just had one.
Oh,
We are up to
and
our
Theo.
ears in
So we
white
have the
boys.
fresh crop of white boys.
What about Malia and Brett, and then Mason gets jealous and leaves Corey
Yes.
for Brett?
I was just about to break. I hope somebody brings up Mason and Brett because down with Mason
yeah,
and
I'm
Corey.
good with that, and I hate Corey.
Yeah, we know that they're together because Layden referenced a double date, and it has to have been with Mason and Corey because even if even if Styles and Lydia were together in the premiere, which I don't think anyone here thinks they are, why would Styles and Lydia want to go on a double date with a couple of like 16-year-olds?
That sounds like the actual worst thing.
Styles would kill them. Styles would be done. I don't see any way for Malia to be in a relationship or have anything this season without me getting irritated, which I think is why I haven't given it much thought because I'm going to get pissed off when it happens.
Seriously?
Malia, the
Yes,
girlfriend.
I think that is the only scenario that it wouldn't piss me off.
And I would totally buy
I'm
that.
sister. Absolutely.
You know Malia would swing any way the wind blows.
Okay,
I love my
Tracy back from her
coyote.
bring Tracy back from her horrible sexually aggressive death and get her together.
Oh, I was like, is Tracy still alive? How is that left? No, she's...
Trust me, I was so upset with that death.
That death was
because
disgusting.
Not even just because of the way she died, which made everything a million times worse, but they gave her a backstory to the extent that they gave Hayden a backstory, which made me think that there was going to be a redemption for her, and there just wasn't. She was destroyed.
We both
Well,
talked
that's why I
about
hurt when they
Yeah.
killed her
she's
off.
going to join the pack.
Diane in the chat says, I'm just sitting here wondering why does Malia have to be in a relationship? And I know they've said that.
I
she's-
agree with that.
I agree.
Well,
with
that's
that.
the other thing.
no,
Is
I
before
totally
this
agree.
tease, we thought that Malia was going to be on Scott's level of, I need to be by myself.
Well, and that's kind
I
of what
think
I
she
want.
should
I think that's
be.
where she should be based on her where she is in relationships. That's just logically where she is. I think she needs to be by herself for a while. She's
Yeah.
literally never been a teenager without being
She's
in a
also
relationship.
way cooler by herself. Like, I just want Malia kicking ass by herself.
She's a
Yeah.
badass. Let her be a badass.
No,
See,
no one can handle her right now. That's
I don't think you're ready for this,
awesome.
Jelly.
fine. They're not.
I'm
She
gonna
needs
go
her
to the next
independence,
question for that.
for sure.
At the very least, I think she should be with the girl.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, how hard would it be? And I think other writers have said, like, yeah, I could definitely see how Malia would not care about gender in terms of who she likes.
She grew
So-
up for how many years as an animal? I don't think she's gonna care about gender norms when she.
I love
And I
Pam
really don't
Malia.
want her to flirt with the antagonist again. I don't want anything with you.
Because that's
Even
the
if
other
he's
thing.
something
Yeah.
good. I don't want, even if the zombie. Oh, wow. Sorry, wrong show. Even if he Nazi. Even if they would be doing the student-teacher thing that they shouldn't do, I don't want her flirting. I don't want her thinking about it. I think she needs to solidly just be on the good side and do her own thing.
I mean, it's just, like, I guess all we have to hope for is that Malia maybe has a fling with one of the extras. And, like, that's it.
I hope
Or
Can we
she's
just
like,
find out at the end that she's been in a happy relationship the whole time and we didn't need to talk about it
With
because it was
Kira.
normal? Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be
She
great.
and Kira have been pen pals.
or maybe, like, they have Malia sort of do the reboot, like, flings that Lydia had after season 2. Like, just kind of like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. And then
That would work
there was-
too. I'd be okay with this.
Oh my god. Let's talk about Lydia Martin's psychological relationship with sex.
No.
No,
No.
no.
But I
5,
want
6,
to.
I know you do.
No one asked us
At
that.
the host of the cast, I'm going to tell you no.
Someone go to the STYDIACAST Tumblr and ask about Lydia Martin's psychological relationship with sex.
Oh
We
my
have
god,
over
I feel
20
like we talked about this
questions.
so much.
No.
Madison in the chat says, go gay or go home.
Heyo.
Hey.
So, when do you think that everyone will start to gain their memories back, and how do you think like each individual character will, like Lydia, Scott, Malia, and the sheriff as the big ones?
Flashback montage. Sorry.
Yeah, I think everyone thinks that Scott is going to have a flashback. Specifically, Scott is going to have a really intense flashback montage because of the shot in the trailer of him with his eyes like closed really tight and his hands over his ears.
I think
seen
Scott
that
will be
theory.
first after Lydia. Do people not agree with that, or
No, people
I think that people agree. I would
I
Yeah.
feel like he would be first?
Well, maybe Sheriff would be before Scott.
I feel like there's going to be resistance with Sheriff, and I think that's
Yeah.
why Lydia has to try so hard in that trailer,
Okay,
I
yeah,
agree.
I can do that.
Yeah.
because that's almost even more heartbreaking. But I feel like the bond between him and Scott is like right under the one with Lydia, and I feel like he'll be first after her. I don't know.
What I would want to
Well-
happen, and this is not going to happen because Teen Wolf doesn't build in any emotional recovery time whatsoever.
Correct.
I'm
No.
talking to you, season 3B. What I would want to happen is all of the recovery stuff to happen latest 3/4 of the way through the season, and then have like recovery time. Let's build time. They're not going to do that because they hate us and they don't do that. But
In reality, it will be the exact opposite.
It was not.
because we don't write Teen Wolf.
Let's write Teen Wolf.
It's not Teen Wolf if we don't experience any emotional ramifications for anything that happens to us.
Yeah, seriously.
As for the rest, like I honestly
Pisses me off.
Who is like Malia? Malia will probably be somewhere between Scott and the sheriff, and then I really don't care about anyone else.
Are there other
Well, I mean,
characters
that's
besides
what-
those 5?
We probably should. Like, I guess Liam will remember at some point. Like, oh yeah, okay.
I mean,
Oh, my daddy!
Liam is just gonna kind of get there. I don't know if Liam's even gonna like necessarily super remember. He's just gonna go on trusting Scott.
I feel like
Mhm.
Liam will just have this like millisecond of a moment where he'll just be like, and then just like move on from that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
in the trailer, Liam does see somebody get taken, presumably at a lacrosse game.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah.
That's true.
Brett, no.
Oh my god.
well,
And what's
it's
up with
Brett.
that green light? Like what?
If it's evil, it's green. Harry Potter.
People disappearing in a flash of green light. That scene was like the Act 1 finale of Wicked, like when she's flying. I don't get what that.
Defying gravity.
They were defying gravity. That's what they were doing.
That's beautiful.
I think so.
Why are you always surprised?
Seriously, always the tone of surprise.
All right,
Oh, no.
Sorry, that's Harry Potter.
You're gonna get Rachel with that one.
He says, I gotta go. You can't reference Hermione to me and expect me to act normally.
I know.
It was really accidental, I swear.
So, like, in terms of when, like, so we think that Lydia is going to know something's up and remember really quickly, because that's something that I've been going back and forth on, because initially I thought, and Kay had said to me, Styles Banshee, that the wall scene was Lydia remembering, but as we got more information, I was like, well, maybe it's not her remembering, maybe it's her being so frustrated that she can't find what's missing at the Stilinski house.
The
So,
emotions
like,
in that scene seemed more like frustration and
I agree
like
with Claire.
just being lost.
Mhm.
Whereas when she's holding his lacrosse jersey, she knows at that point.
yeah, she does.
I feel like maybe we might have just like one entire episode where no one remembers him.
So 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then maybe, like Lydia will remember him at the end, and then it's
Of
like
2.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to wait that long, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be like super quickly. I think we're going to be tortured for at least like 40 minutes of no one knowing Styles.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think there's too much stuff that needs to still happen for them to push it that much further down the episode line. But who knows, because they may absolutely just like butcher the rest of the season anyways.
Surprise!
We have the episode 2 description, and it's Scott, Styles, and Lydia all feel like something's like missing, and they're all trying to figure out together like what's going on. Like that's what we know is going to happen, which is a little bit faster, honestly.
The Styles know he's missing? Styles
Scott.
and Lydia?
Malia and Malia. Sorry.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm not used to other people besides Nick Martinsky. Anyway.
I don't blame you.
Anyways, that was a lot faster than I thought that was going to happen. So I guess my theory is that the scene with Lydia in the hallway is either the like last like thing in episode 1, which I actually really doubt because it wouldn't fit, or like the first thing in episode 2, which would mean that they could go through the whole episode feeling like things were off, and then at the end of episode 2, she could have a really powerful like remember, cut to black, and then start like the next episode's plan starting to try to
So like
convince
the
other
Jeep
people.
scene would be at the end of episode 2, where she runs out to the Jeep, because I was thinking later that, you know, and I think Rachel and Maggie and I have talked about this, that we think that Lydia's memories trickle in slowly, but like she's actually seeing and hearing things. So like she hears a locker slam and she looks at it and she kind of sees like, you know, someone walking wearing a Styles-esque outfit, and then she like tries to blink or something, and then he goes away. Like, or, you know, she hears somebody call her name and then she's like, oh, what do you want? Like a lot like in season 3 where she could hear the bugs, the flies.
Oh my god. Wait. Season 3. What if it's like the radio? In the radio where Styles is telling Lydia, come find me.
No!
No, it's going to be hugely. That's going to play such a huge part. One of the titles of one of the episodes is radio silence, which means the radio stops talking. And there's been static at the end of like a lot of the most recent official promos.
Bitch, I'm about to lose my goddamn mind.
Jennifer in the chat says, do you think Lydia would be able to hear Styles when he's at King's Cross Station?
Yes, we've talked about this so many times.
Yeah.
Rachel and Maggie have talked about this so many times. Yes, we think that she's going to hear him.
It would be a waste if they did not make that opportunity. Oh my
I don't
God.
think, I know Maggie said this earlier, I don't think Styles is going to hear Lydia ever because he's not a banshee.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that he's going to be more better at like outputting signals, and Lydia is going to be able to pick them up because she actually has a receiver. She has her banshee powers.
Also,
How do you think he's going to know that she hears him? Do you think he's just going to have faith? Because that would be really cool.
Oh,
He's
God,
got him pixie
Tommy.
dust and all that.
of
Yeah,
course
I mean-
he's just gonna have faith. He's
He
always
knows that
gonna
someone's
have
going to come for him, yeah. And I think that he's going to remember that like Lydia is really smart.
But
It was one of the last things he said to her.
Yeah.
So.
between Lydia
You got me.
plus Scott, Styles knows someone's gonna come
Yeah.
find her.
Yeah.
And for Scott and Malia, I think that they're going to start actually believing Lydia when they go to the Jeep, because I think they're going to smell Styles.
Yeah.
recognize the smell because they're going to be like, no, it doesn't smell like a wolf. It doesn't smell like a coyote.
It smells like teenage boy.
It smells like Axe and Doritos. What the So, but they're going to see like when it smells familiar, just not like, I can speak to this.
Scott doesn't shower for days and is like, wait, this is familiar. What am I missing?
Oh my goodness. SOS, get Dylan O'Brien a bar of soap.
It smells like the cologne station at Macy's.
Okay, so this is an interesting question, and one that I have honestly never even thought about. So shout out to you. What do you think Styles' arc will be like as one of the Forgotten?
I think he's going to end up being a leader in the station or whatever.
Is he going to be the leader of the pack?
Styles wishes.
Peter are going to have to team up to work on their end to make sure that they come back.
Can Peter die, please?
Oh, just wait for 6B.
Yeah, I was going to say, 6B is going to be all about killing Peter Hale.
Oh, yeah.
I would love for Peter to be the big bad that they have to kill off at the end.
Peter and the Nematon need to be...
Yeah.
Let's just set everything on fire and bring it all back to the beginning. Boom.
Fire.
Yeah, but I do think Styles is going to take a more leadership role along with Peter, which I'm excited for because I like it when Styles gets bossy. Anyway.
That's smile.
Yeah, guys, I can attest to that. She really likes it when Styles gets bossy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Maggie said. I think he's going to sulk initially. And then Peter's going to be like, listen, kid, do you actually want to get out of here? Or do you want to just sit here and whine about how your girlfriend didn't get to say I love you back? Like, let's go.
Hey, Claire, what's on your pillow?
What?
Claire, what's on your pillow in the
Man.
It's a man, but what man is it?
Peter Bishop? AKA Josh Jackson.
Sorry, I just noticed that.
BT Dub's huge Fringe fan, so I sleep with him every
I
night.
got distracted, guys.
It's okay. That was worth
Okay,
it.
so I personally kind of don't agree with Rachel, which is a weird sensation for me. Because we have all of these like, somebody's gonna remember me, they'll come for me lines and like all that crap. And I kind of feel like Styles isn't a hopeful person, but I'm really hoping that having Lydia love him back and having somebody on the other side who feels that strongly for him, like the way he's saying to her, remember me, hang on, let me finish.
I'm not. That's why I'm saying next. This isn't like, if I were cutting you off, I'd be cutting you off.
Okay, I think that he's gonna be like, we have to figure out how to get out, and Peter's gonna be like, listen, we're forgotten, we're not getting out, like we're not moving.
Diana in the chat says, haha, Peter is like a bad pimple that never goes away.
That's true.
No, but I agree, Rachel, because now he has something to fight for. Like, there's
I
something
need to
more.
live because I have something worth living for.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, like, Peter, this is probably, like, what, the third time that he's been stuck somewhere? Like, he was stuck in his body. He was stuck in Icon. Now he's, like, stuck in this other world. Peter's, like,
He's
probably,
stuck
like,
dead.
you know what?
I mean, he was stuck dead for like an episode or two.
Can
Yeah.
he just like,
Bad
get
luck.
the message and stay that way, maybe?
Yeah. Stay stuck.
Like, there's a reason you keep getting stuck. Because no
You're
one
not
loves
meant to be. Yeah.
No one loves you. Go away.
Nah.
There's a great conversation going on in the chat about the paper that Lydia's holding.
It's
It's
all
all
Having an
paper.
actual detailed discussion. Yeah.
I know everybody thought it was a no, but
It's definitely wallpaper,
yeah,
guys.
it's the wallpaper.
it's not the note. The
It
notes,
looks nothing like the note.
yeah.
I don't even think that. Well,
I don't think it's a
Bobby
note.
just hit me in the face. I don't even think that the note exists.
Me neither.
But who was it that said she's like she's doing it out of frustration? She's like clawing at the wall, trying to find Styles
Yeah, it was
on the
me.
other side. You guys wanna
I
talk
have it
about
up
that?
so I could read it in case I needed to.
Perfect.
You're
Yeah,
prepared.
somebody said, yeah, I am prepared. I have multicolored pens, Rosemary.
What?
So someone asked me basically like what I thought that the paper was, and they said, "Oh, do you think it's the note?" And I said no. And shout out to Kay because she is the one who kind of like initially put this theory like into my mind.
Kay's a genius.
Super smart. Love her. And so my theory was that, you know, maybe after they find the Jeep, they return it to the Stilinskis, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, I never drive it. I don't know how it ended up at the school. And she gets kind of like another trigger of like, wait, I'm supposed to be here doing something I'm supposed to remember. Somehow she gets into the house and saying like, no, there's something up here. There's a room up here. I need to find something that's in the room up here. Like whatever it is. And of course there's no room there. So she kind of is like, oh, maybe it's behind the wallpaper. Like, I can try and find it. And she kind of, like, gets to rip off some of it, but it's just layered thickly. And she can't find anything. She falls to the ground. That's what she's holding. Because then we have another shot in, like, the very first trailer where the sheriff is looking through a, like, hole in the wall. And I don't know if you guys are able to see it because Teen Wolf lighting. Nope. Yeah, there's his face.
Yeah.
There's his face.
I know what shot you're talking about, though.
Yeah. The ask is on my Tumblr. If you search under "You Asked Me," it's down there. And the sheriff was looking through a hole in the wall, so it's almost as if he like saw that Lydia had ripped up his wall a little bit, and kind of just like tore more of it, and he can see through. And then we have another shot of the sheriff clearly having like busted a hole in his wall, standing in the room. So like. That's what I think.
He pulled a Stranger Things
sequence. Yeah, I think that's what that sequence of events is Lydia getting frustrated and she can't do it, but
maybe frustrated that he's not listening either.
Yeah, and maybe like she stops her before she's able to like really rip it off, and so she just like hits the wall, slides down, and starts crying. Like, really, it's gonna be really tough to watch that scene. I have faith that Holland like pulled it out for that one.
So excited.
That definitely makes the most sense. And to be honest. Though it really saddens me because it would have been a great opportunity, I feel like we're never going to see the note again. I think that was a plot point that was dropped.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a plot point. I think it was just a little...
Yeah, I think it was a throwaway comment for Aiden to make to be like, oh, maybe she likes him back. Maybe he still likes her. I don't think we're going to see that again.
And I think it determined that Aiden is an asshole, so...
Well, yeah, that certainly helped.
That's before that he...
I mean, Aiden is so fucking insecure about Styles, and like,
it was just there to show you where Aiden's head was at during that scene.
No, but I mean, it was also purposefully written to show that, like, he, the person who is literally getting Lydia Martin action, the person who he's threatened by is freaking Styles Stilinski. Like, that was really emphasized for the audience, I think. And it's one of the reasons that I think a lot of us thought that City was going to happen in season 4 before we got Malia stuff going on and realized that she was going to end up with Styles.
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay, so moving on to something that I think is going to be really fun to talk about. Speaking as me and what I like. Since there's an episode on Banshee mythology written by Angela Harvey Praise and Lydia's family, what do you think will be explained, and what do you think, or what do you want to see? I mean, I want an explanation of the Banshee gene, because initially it wasn't genetic. Now it kind of is. It's on her dad's side. It's on her mom's side. Like, I need to know if it's just like...
Oh, no.
Rats on a stick.
No. Rats
Oh,
on a
man.
stick.
Sorry.
This is what happens when you're live.
This is, I know, right?
Did we all freeze?
You're back.
Yep.
Oh, you froze.
Yeah, I did.
What happens when,
Oh, like when a seventh son is born. Like, I want to, like, one of those things where, like, Lydia is something where it's both sides of her family have kind of, like, converged. Because I know that, like, the grandmother who owned the lake house was supposed to be her dad's mom. But because they don't have the actor for her dad and they didn't want to cast anybody, they kind of, like, said, oh, but Natalie was taking care of her while she was in Eichen House, or because her dad just, like, vanished.
Is a terrible dad.
Yeah, and when Lydia was hurt really, really badly by Tracy, Natalie screamed, and, like, she screamed, like, so dramatically. Some people were saying, like, is Natalie, like, got something going on under there? Like, what's up with that? So I just want that to be more hammered out, because we know that banshees are rare, but there are 2 in Beacon Hills and 1 in a neighboring town. So what are we working with here? And 1 died when and Sheriff held her hand while she died in the car crash, like when Styles' mom was dying. So like rare.
Oh, that storyline.
Rare.
You're fucking me up.
I have loved all of the stories that we've had about banshees on the show. Particularly, I loved hearing about Lydia's grandmother and her wife. And I want to know, and I know it's been talked about on the show before, but I want a more clear cut. How are the banshees' emotions and who they love? How is that tied to their banshee power? How does that affect them? That's what I want, and I feel like that's super relevant since we're talking about Lydia's feelings this season. That's something I really want.
And like, do they have to be created in some sort of way? What, because like the fact that she was bit by an alpha triggered her banshee powers. Would she have not been a banshee if she wasn't bitten? Would she have been more like her mom and just kind of
Could be dormant.
dormant, or her grandmother, who really didn't have anything until the catastrophic event of losing her wife, like sort of triggered it. Because I think in some mythologies, banshees are triggered by like a loss of some
I think
kind.
that Leanne in the chat says maybe Lydia's mom is pulling a Halloween Town, has known she was a banshee all along.
Oh my god.
If she is, then Natalie's the worst for sending her to Ike, and even more so than Fire.
She's the worst.
Yeah. Natalie has, I don't know. I don't know that I really think that she's got anything going on. I don't think this would ever happen, but I wouldn't mind more grandma flashbacks or something more involving the grandmother. Because I feel like Lydia's getting all this information from banshees, or not getting this information from random sources. And like, I don't know. She just needs someone she can trust to tell her the information.
I would love for her mother to be the one. Oh, Deaton, yes. But
Deaton to finally stop being
Deaton.
goddamn, like, oh jeez, I'm gonna be sensitive for no point at all. Like, can you just be straight up, Deaton? God's sake.
You were so angry. I remember watching the first episode with you that one weekend last year, and you were just so angry at Dean. You're like, he's going to piss you off for this entire series because he just doesn't share the shit he knows. Be prepared for that now. You're going to love him, but you're going to fucking hate him because he doesn't tell you what you want to know. I enjoy you, Claire. Thank you for being a part of my life.
Well, for a while, I was mad at Natalie because she was being shady as fuck.
I'm still mad at Natalie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on with Natalie, so I would like that addressed.
I just want the parents to form our kids are supernatural, we need to deal with it
Support
club.
I just think Natalie's, I think they did, but Natalie's not invited. Because
Well, I think it's time she needs to be invited because she's fucking shit up, okay?
I think Natalie's
Relationships this season that aren't Malia. Chris and Melissa are going to be together. We missed that on the question.
that's true.
Yeah.
Because someone... Okay, so Jeff told Paul that Melissa and Sheriff won't be happening. Like, he initially implied that they might, and then he corrected him and said, whoops, I forgot to type not. All right, Jeff. And then at New York Comic Con, was it?
Yep.
Melissa Ponzio.
No, it was a con in a foreign country. It was like
okay. So Melissa Ponzio said, "Oh, I can say that she's gonna end up with either Sheriff or Chris," and everyone was like, "Does she not know?" So, I mean, maybe in the alternate timeline, Melissa and Chris are together because they came together after Allison's death. I don't know. It's going to be really weird regardless because
it's going to be really weird regardless.
These kids are so intertwined that when any of the parents like hint at getting together, unless it's Melissa and Sheriff because they've been co-parenting for so long, I
know. I'm okay with this. This needs to happen.
It's going to feel
I talked to a friend last week who watched Teen Wolf and then quit between season 4 and season 5 because she was bad.
Saved herself.
And
yeah.
And she questioned me. She was like, 1, how are Stydia doing? And I updated her, so she's going to come back now. And she was like, 2, are Sheriff and Melissa together? And I was like, this is your immediate thought. I'm sorry.
Chris Argent / Jeroborn is an attractive man with very pretty eyes to look into.
Like,
yes,
I'm not, like, whatever. I'm happy for Melissa, because she deserves someone as hot as Chris Argent in her life.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be real.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it.
Me and the Sheriff have essentially been...
The mommy and the daddy.
Yeah, they have been. And
I want Scott and Styles to be real brothers.
Me too.
Yeah, I think everybody wants that.
And then the Natalie Sheriff thing was just so fucking weird.
It was
and-
just to be cute about how they're married IRL, and everyone got so
Yeah.
pissed, including me.
Including me. I like freaked out on my blog and then like regretted it like an hour later when like everybody else was freaking out and I was like, oh my god, I made a mistake.
Yeah, power, Rachel.
Let us never speak of this again.
Yeah.
But I want to say something back on the Banshee stuff. So we know that Lydia's going to meet that other Banshee in the neighboring town that apparently the Wild Hunt took everybody, and it's stuck in the 80s.
I like. The
I looked up
80s.
other
I'm
kinds
okay
of-
with this.
Yeah, you do.
I looked up stuff with regards to banshees and different kinds of banshees because I was wondering if that was a thing because this banshee seems to be more hag. And there is another one which I can't say what it is. Like, so you know how banshee is spelled like B-E in Gaelic it's spelled like Beansidhe. This one is spelled like Beannighe, but there's no like anglicized word for that, and they don't have a pronunciation. So she is this one that's supposed to be like full on hag style, and if you ask her three questions, but you have to answer three questions of her, and you can potentially get a wish from her. So I'm wondering if like not explicitly like, oh, Lydia's a banshee, but this bitch is a blah blah blah. Like I think that there's gonna be this like exchange between Lydia and this banshee. Like maybe Lydia's scream is something that she needs to kind of get back into her own swing because she's stuck in a town that like everyone's gone. And then I also looked up the Morrigan, which is like a super banshee, and I was wondering if at some point during this Lydia would like level up into a banshee alpha being the Morrigan. But I have no evidence other than wishes. So like I really just like the banshee lore is so rich because it's existed in Ireland, Scotland, Wales forever that they'd be foolish to just kind of like push it aside the way that they did with some of the Kitsune mythology.
Yeah, but I think they will.
I mean, yes, because that's what they did with the Kitsune mythology. But
I think there's great opportunities, and I have no doubt that we will go a little bit further in depth with the Banshee stuff, only to just explain what the hell's going on with Lydia and her relationship with the Styles thing. But I don't think we're going to get in depth at all, just because I have no faith.
Yay, Faye!
Yeah.
It's so tragic. So speaking of faith and
Yeah.
hope, are you hoping for any flashbacks? If so, what of? And I think that they mean like new flashbacks, not like, flashbacks to prior seasons, which we're almost like guaranteed to get because they featured so prominently in all of their promotional stuff.
Elementary School Mick Martinsky. That's
Yeah.
it.
Like where we can actually see baby Lydia's face. Like her shoes were cute and all, but I wanted to see that little muffin. Like those
I wanted to see that little muffin. We're putting that on a t-shirt.
No, we're not.
No.
You take it very poorly.
Yes, we are.
That's gonna sound
Thanks to Mean
dirty.
Girls, no. Exactly.
I'll find a way to do
I
it.
don't know. Do you think we're really going to get new flashbacks?
No.
I mean,
don't
this
think
is
we are.
IMDb confirmed, therefore it's basically like Periscope confirmed that the young Styles actor is going to be in an episode. So people think that, maybe he's gonna film some stuff as a youngin. And they did get photo doubles of season 1 Dylan O'Brien. Like they specifically said you gotta have a buzz cut.
I was thinking that it could be for like maybe like Lydia has a dream and she's to chase him, or like maybe it's for like I just feel like it's for like a white room type thing because Holland Roden I think fucked up during an interview and someone asked her like what her favorite set was and she was like the white room set and then she was like I mean that concept and we were like okay honey and then she started talking about
Like he actually filmed in this one. It's not weird to say that.
what.
Well, she actually filmed in the White Room set, so
Yeah.
it's not weird for her to say that,
No,
but
they were
she
talking
acted like it was weird for her to say
Like,
that.
no. They were talking about 6, like, A specifically, not, like, just in general for the show.
Oh, I thought she was just taking it as, like, I
No,
thought
they
it
were
was,
like, what's your favorite, like, set up this season or something? They were, like, tone or something like that. I don't remember, but she, like, specifically mentioned the White Room and then tried to backtrack, and I was like, I see you.
She better, because I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I want the ice baths to happen. I want that to be like a key part of their like remembering and try to find Styles. And I would love it if she went back inside Styles' head. Like, oh my god, I would just love it so much. Anyway, I digress. What were we talking about?
We do think they're going to be flashbacks of prior seasons, and we think that they're going to do something with the youths of Teen Wolf.
Maybe.
the younger versions of them. And then we also know that there's going to be, and we saw some of it in the trailer, like flashbacks of how the Nazi werewolf became a werewolf, and presumably how the doctors / the Wild Hunt get him, like, and the 80s. Like, they cast extras to look like 80s people. So, but that's the hardest thing, is that one of Holland's first spoilers, God bless her, but she's so confusing, was that you're going to know
I think she's confused.
Yeah, she is. You're going to know immediately that the season has to do something with time, and everyone's like, time? We just had a season that was all about time, where, you know, flashback, flash forward. But the reviews that have been coming in have said, like, oh, they don't jump around with time as much. So I'm like, girl, did you just, like, was there a clock on your wall? Was there a clock on your wall that you had to look at for a beat, and now you're just like, time is going to play an important part in this season? I looked at a clock.
Maybe it's time in like a more like
watch.
Times they are changing type way.
I guess like the passage of time as like growing up, but again
It's
with
the start of time.
You have to take a grain of salt.
Sorry.
BRB. Okay, bye BRB, Claire.
Bye, Claire.
Yeah.
Maybe time, as in going back in that time warp tunnel.
Yeah, and that's something, actually, I was going to mention this before, that's what I was holding up my hand for I realized something. One way I could think that Styles would know that Lydia is reaching out to him, and maybe that's kind of something that spurs him to action even more, is that was my dad's phone. Superposition is the title of one of the episodes, and that has to do a lot with kind of like Schrodinger's cat stuff. Rachel, you had an ask about this where you explained it, saying like you can sort of like being in two seemingly contradictory states at the same time. That's like explaining it to a 5-year-old. Simple. But
Leanna on the chat says, plot twist, all the adults are actually the kids from Stranger Things.
I would love that.
But we don't have a Styles' mom character. She dead.
That.
No one to communicate with over light.
She's 11.
She's Will Byers.
She's Will Byers?
Oh. What? Somebody write that.
But what I was saying was that, like, the reason why superposition could be used is that they're in the right place, but it's the wrong time for that place to exist. And I said this to Rachel and Maggie with, like, okay, so we know that they're in, like, a train station. Like, we know that they're in King's Cross, if you will. It's an in-between. But maybe they're in King's Cross in 1985, and King's Cross wasn't built until 2005. And that's why they're able to be, like, in a contradictory place. So if Lydia can go to 2013, whatever Teen Wolf time it is, 2015, if she can go to 2015 King's Cross, she can somehow get something in that, like, veil. She can get something through the veil because she's a Banshee using that, like, time warp tunnel that none of us know what it's doing because it's, like, the most high-tech looking thing Teen Wolf has ever done.
I just thought about them, like, being near each other, like, seeing each other for, like, 2 seconds, then having to be ripped away again because it was just on, like, a different plane and it's not real, and then I died.
I don't think they have Dylan O'Brien for that long, Rachel.
Well, I know, but, like, they could have filmed before he left.
I know, they clearly filmed a bunch of scenes of him with Ian Bohen, so hopefully they would film him doing other stuff that isn't in the finale. But,
I just came back and we're talking about different planes. Like, are we now talking about Charmed? Have we moved TV shows?
Well, like, so, I don't know, you said you don't
we
pay
can talk
attention
about
to
Charmed
much.
later, but...
Yeah.
Can we not, though?
What? Don't you dare.
But, so, like, Claire, you said you didn't really pay attention to many promos, right?
I have a short attention span.
So they said that one of the episode titles, like episode something, is going to be called Superposition, which is kind of plainular stuff.
Kind of plainy. Okay.
Kind of plainy, yeah. This is so far from flashbacks.
What question are we on? Let's go to the next question.
12. We're 12. We're going.
I don't know about you. I gotta work tomorrow.
Yeah,
Me too.
I have an essay due.
6A is loosely connected to 6B, so I've heard. How do you think that is? I think the Wild Hunt isn't entirely gone. Maybe Peter kind of becomes a rider and then, but like kills all the other ones. Then he's like,
Oh, a twist.
I am the alpha.
Yeah.
Peter becomes the alpha of the Wild Hunt.
I mean,
He's
they
the
do.
Headless Horseman.
They do traditionally have a leader, depending on where your Wild Hunt mythology is coming from. So the fact that we haven't really seen a clear-cut like leader guy, maybe Peter wants to become that guy.
Maybe it's
That's
an
actually
option wolf.
super interesting. Peter leading the Wild Hunt.
So
I don't know. I feel like the connection between 6A and B is whenever we've had the season split up like that, it's really just been that the B portion is a result of A. So I don't know that we'll necessarily have like the continuity, but something's going to happen in A that's going to make B happen. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't know if I agree because Jeff Davis legit like wasn't thinking about 6B when he was writing 6A. Like he literally was like, I don't know. Like I'm not thinking about this right now. I'm focusing on this season and like getting through it. And so that could have been a lie, but like
No,
I
that's
think
really
maybe
true.
he wanted it to be more segmented, and now he's kind of having to like continue it more because they weren't able to fit everything they wanted in 6B or
Mhm.
610.
Yeah. There's a lot that's supposed to happen. So it could just be that, hey, we need to have a hiatus now and we'll get back on this later.
But is the consensus that Styles is going to get back in 610 or earlier?
I was on
I
team
think
earlier
so.
before, but now I don't think he's going to be until 610.
Me too.
Or like 6-9, maybe at the end of 6-9, and then 6-10 he's able to like help them out as they do whatever the wrap up
Wow.
is.
Yeah.
So this one should be an easy question for the sinners in our group. Do you think we'll ever get a Styles and Lydia sex scene, or at least a major makeout? If so, how do you think and want it to play out? Thanks a million.
Can I answer that question with a question? What do you mean by sinners?
I think she means me.
What?
Yeah, that is my rep.
It's clear.
Oh, and not the people
Mostly
like
Rachel,
who
but
feel completely uncomfortable by sex. Okay.
I hope in my heart of hearts that we have just a beautiful sex scene.
I would say goals would be 6-10 having it, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I would like a Scallison. Like they used to have like good sex scenes on Teen Wolf.
They're not
and
going to give that to
anymore.
Lydia.
But my mind's telling me no, but my body is telling
My
me
body.
Your body is ready.
So I don't know. I hope they do, but if they do have a sex scene, I think it would probably be 6B. I don't think it would be during 6A at all.
Agreed.
I
think the most we're going to make out, but that's just me.
Yeah, I made a post about the four possible makeout scenarios that I saw on my Tumblr a couple days ago. So I will reblog that if I can remember, and you can go look at that. But it's like super duper long, so I don't want to go into each of my 4 possibilities right now.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't get like an actual full-on like sex scene Scallison style, something that I've said since season 5 ended was like goals would be for 6B to begin with, like if they're all at college. With,
oh God! Don't do this one to me again. I can't hear this again. Okay, I'm ready.
It's domestic as fuck. So it would just be like we know that the 2.0 people, they're kind of like watching out for Beacon Hills, and Scott and the older people are all like at work, school, wherever, and like Liam is calling everybody saying like you have to come back here, like something happened with the Nematon, like you have to come back here. Peter like killed a teacher in front of everyone, like crazy. And they're trying to get hold of Styles and Lydia for like the entire cold open, and then they just can't do it. And then finally like you see like a phone buzzing on a nightstand, and someone picks it up, and it's like Lydia, and she's just like, Hayden, what do you want? And then like she gets the news. She goes, "Oh my God, that's awful. Yeah, we'll be right there. Oh no, don't worry. I'll find Styles. I'm sure I can find him." And then like the way that 3A begins, and you pan, and after Lydia's getting ready, you see the dude in the bed. Then it's Styles.
Yeah.
So, like, that was the goals that I had for 6.
I've
6B.
never been able to hear that without getting fucked up, and I've heard it multiple times.
So yeah, if they decide, or if Dylan O'Brien throws enough of a fit and doesn't want to do any like sexual scenes on Teen Wolf,
Oh, shut up, Dylan. Take one for the team and shut up.
Take one for the team and kiss Holland Roden. I think that it's going to be like, we have to get an implication scene. Like, we
at least have to get a scene. We have to get like a joke at least about how they do it, like rabbits. Like Styles and Lydia have both been in the series portrayed as like extremely sexual characters. Like Lydia, like I always forget, but like dang, Lydia really likes sex. Like she, in the first couple
Girl
of
loves her sex.
What am I, a nun?
And then Styles is like, somebody have sex with me right now. So
Yes,
like,
seriously.
those two together, they are never going to stop banging. I'm pretty convinced.
So, kind of like the, evil twin of that question. Everyone asks what you want to happen with Stydia, but what are things that you would not want to see them do?
Break up.
Like,
Break up.
I mean, yeah, breakup would be pretty bad. It's just like,
Never
especially with the way this season is going, like they're putting in so much effort to getting them together that to have them decide that like, well, 2 hours is really far, like we can't do this in terms of like a long distance relationship. I think people would like riot. BRB.
There's no way. And I think we said this before, but like the reason why they waited so long to get Stydia together is because once they're together, that is it. Like
They're not
there is
breaking
no more relationship for either of them throughout the rest of the series. And so, I mean, guys, don't even worry about a breakup because it's never gonna fucking happen. They're in love with each other. Yeah, I think one of the things I wouldn't like to see, besides no sex scene, is just them not taking the time and care that Stydia deserves, like out of a scene from them. Like I really want the writers to be very invested in the dialogue and the movements of the characters, and I don't want it to be a lackadaisical thing. Like I want them to be very aggressive, and like I want Dylan to show up and perform. Like I need this to happen.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like,
Every
and if they're
definition
gonna,
of that word.
yeah, and if they're gonna like have a fight, it needs to be a well done fight. I don't want none of this jealousy stuff.
It needs to be
Like-
I care about you and I'm scared for you.
Yeah, it
I mean,
needs to
there's
be.
reasons that they'd have fights, like.
But what I'm saying is, like, it needs to be good. It needs to
No,
be.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that the
like,
thing that
it's-
I'm most worried about is them mischaracterizing their relationship. And I don't even know what I mean by that because, like, in a certain way, like, whatever they do in canon, like, is canon. But I feel like I don't want them to be. There's just, like, a certain way that I don't want to see.
I mean, it's
Stydia,
like we would
especially
see
Lydia.
it. We would know when we saw it, where it would be like, that seems really
that's not right.
weird. You know?
And
Oh no.
I think about it all the time. I just I don't want to see Stydia wrong. Like, and I like know what that looks like for me, and it probably looks a bit different for everybody else. But or like for anybody else, like individually. I mean, but like just for me, I get very worried about them like doing it in a way that doesn't ring true for the characters because then I feel like it would be like getting robbed of something.
And just like if we, like Maggie said, if we miss things with them, like we got a lot of content with Scott and Allison. Scott's the main character, I understand. But we also got so much material in season 4 with Styles and Malia, and then there was a lot of really beautiful Kira and Scott moments. If they just like glossed over everything and it was just like, no, yeah, they're happy. They're happy.
Are we still talking about things we're salty about?
No, it's like, what do you not want to see?
Stydia.
Stydia doing, and like it would just, the main thing I think all of us agree with is no pettiness, because like no breaking them up. If they're gonna fight, make it a good reason to fight, and
If they're
Rachel
gonna
said
fight, I
no,
need to get something out of it.
yeah, like, and Rachel said like we would know if they mischaracterized them, and so she's worried about that. Like it's hard to put into words what the mischaracterization would be, but like
Hey,
you'd see
35
it.
people are watching right now. Hi, 35 people.
Hey guys.
Sorry, 35 people.
So, okay, we kind of talked about this a little bit too. What are your thoughts on other canon ships on Teen Wolf compared to Stydia? And they gave an example of Scallison versus Stydia, and something that I like about both of them is that there's just something in the way that those sets look at each other where you can see the stars in their eyes. Like, and so you know that like even if there's going to be problems, there's going to be a cycle back to each other for at least once. So that's what I like about that. And then
Yeah.
obviously, like, Skallison was, like, first love where you fall in love with each other, and Stydia is, like, you know, you've had a crush on this girl forever, and then she's a person, and you really do love her, and then she sees you too, so.
I think the difference with Stydia and all the other ships, and I think that this is something that we can all agree upon, is that they took their time to develop them so slowly that, to me, Stydia feels like an epic love story. Like, Skallison for me is epic, but, like, not in the same way. Like, Stydia is capital E epic. Like, they were trying to do something, and they did it. And I think that Stydia is the one thing that they have not yet managed to ruin. They demolished Skiles last season, which was the other thing they hadn't ruined.
Will
So,
Wallace, this is a formal invitation to fight me for writing that apology scene, because it's
Oh my
shit.
god. It wasn't an
shit.
apology scene. There was no I'm sorry. It was not an apology.
Oh, there was an apology from Scott to Styles.
Oh my god. Let's not even talk about that. I'm too mad.
anyways, I just feel like Stydia is very epic. And I think that it was very slowly, painstakingly developed, very purposefully. And the fact that it wasn't just like pushed, like all the other ships I feel just get pushed on us, but Stydia is this like huge buildup. It's their golden ticket. It's the flagship, and they care about it. I think enough to do it, to honor it in the last 20 episodes, and that means a lot to me.
Like, they've just been burning slowly this entire time.
I'm
But
watching
Scott-
it burn.
Not like that, though. Like, Scott and Allison fell in love with each other immediately. Kira had a crush on Scott, and then he started paying attention to her, and then they kind of, like, slowly came together as they were understanding the mythology. Styles and Malia fucked in a basement.
Really? Need protection.
It's not STYDIACAST if we don't talk about condoms.
And Layden, like, tried to have, like, a Skallison style thing where, like, forbidden enemy, but, like, even more, like, straight up enemy turns to lover, and it just hasn't felt good. Same with Mason and Corey. Corey's a really weak character, so putting a character that people don't like with a character that people really do like doesn't work as well as you think it is going to.
Cough, cough, cough.
Oh, Marish! Sorry. I had to-
Stalia, like,
Oh, God.
Maury.
This show sucks. I love it so much.
Why do we
But, like,
say
with
that?
Styles and Lydia, like, they always emphasize what they have in common in their scenes together, so it's easy to jump and get on with that, like,
Man,
premise.
they like each other so much.
They don't like each other, Rachel.
No, they just like each other. Like, I just love that. I feel like some OTPs, like Skallison, for example, like, I froze, didn't I?
Not for me.
No.
I
You
froze,
didn't freeze.
I?
I don't know what you're doing.
You didn't freeze.
Oh, you guys all froze.
Keep going.
I feel like
Oh.
some OTPs like Skallison, like, I don't, like, I get the fact that they have, like, chemistry, and I get the fact that they love each other, but, like, at the same time, like, I don't see the friendship with Skallison. They're just close, and they're just in love. Whereas with Stydia, I'm like, wow, you guys, like, have shit in common, your minds work well together, like, they're friends, and it's, this makes me so happy.
I think with Skallison, they were unfortunately robbed with Crystal's departure of them getting to really develop Scott and Allison strictly as friends, because season 3 had lots of sexual tension, but if season 4 they were able to kind of like exist as friends, and for Allison to get along with Kira, then it would have been like, this is so nice to see a healthy breakup resolving in, like, where you can be friends with your ex and his new partner, but we just, like, haven't even had that yet on the show.
See, if Allison had lived, I don't think they would have done that. I think they would have gone back together.
Well, they would, but I'm saying, like, season 4, for example, would have been like, you know, them being friends. I don't think it would have been like season 3A and 3B is Kira, and then season 4 is back to Allison.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I think that they were planning a similar cycle with Skallison, but they just couldn't get to do that. How do you feel about the fact that they waited this long for Studio to become canon? Do you feel like if
I'm
they got
done
together earlier, it would have not made as much sense? Yes.
Yeah.
If they'd gotten together post season 3, like for season 4, I would have been like, from pretty much season 5 on, waiting for them to break up and been like, there's no way they're gonna make this. There's no way they're gonna do it like this. There's no way. Which is,
I think the longer they waited, the stronger it's going to end up being in the end, the more permanent it's going to be in the end. And I think for that,
I really
I'm
feel
happy
like
about it.
Lydia needed to get there. She needed to pine a little bit. She needed to get on Styles' level. I'm really happy that they didn't get them together until, I mean, like, to be fair, I wish they'd gotten together in 520. I'm not gonna lie about that. I hated the fact that they made them awkward in the season finale in 519 just to make them like really, really close again in 601. I'm kind of like, why didn't you just show them becoming friends again in 519? Like, what did you have
Why
to
did they
lose
rescue
here?
Lydia from Mike and have them leave her in the library by herself?
Don't get me started on
Also,
that.
517.
Anyways,
You had
so
one job.
I'm glad that they waited this long to get together though, especially because I wouldn't want them to break up once they got together, and at this point there's like almost no chance that would ever happen, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everything that happened needed to happen. And honestly, in considering television history, we haven't waited that long at all.
It feels like a long time because it's been since like
It did.
2011, but like.
But as
It's been 8
someone who's waited like maybe 8 seasons for a ship, I will gladly take this.
If you
I will
count
go
A's and
down
B's,
with-
you're gonna be up to like 10 with Teen Wolf.
I'm spoiled. I want it. Like, I don't like
I
waiting.
haven't even been watching that long. I mean, Claire got me into this last December. It's only been a year.
God, I wish.
Okay.
Claire, I found a Christmas card you gave me last year that was like, I'm sorry that I introduced you to Teen Wolf and ruined your life. Makes me happy.
What is your all-time favorite Stydia scene? And it could be one that hasn't aired. I
Jeep
think,
scene from 601.
yeah, I mean, that's one's going to be really good, I feel like. But as of right now, because I haven't seen all of 601, I'm probably going to go with, it's really tied for me. Like, the More Bad Than Good scene with the trap, and then their looks and their actions after they kiss. Like, that stuff right there. Like, they're tied, and it 100% has to do with their reactions after the big thing happens. Like, the way that Styles and Lydia look at each other after he, like, pulls her off the trap, and then the way they look at each other after they kiss, I'm, like, done every time. So those two.
Last, when we did the Live at HowlerCon episode, I said the kiss is probably my favorite. And, I mean, it still probably is, but for the sake of variety, I'm thinking we're going to go with the Icon rescue. That I can't choose a specific scene, but that whole, like, rescue and the find my way back to you part, like, it fucking ruins me, you guys. Like, I get so emotional just thinking about it, and the whole open your eyes when she's on the table scene. Like I said, I just love the angst, man. Like,
No, I'm with you. I have a tie. I have 2. It's a tie. And I one of them is when they're in his room and she finds out about Meredith from Parrish and he hugs her. It's just some problem where he just like pulls her in. He doesn't say anything. There's no expectation of giving anything. It's just a hug, and it's I'm here for you, and that's important.
He doesn't even know what she heard.
No, he doesn't.
He just sees her face.
And he hugs her, and I think that's a lot of what the relationship is built on to me, and that's why I think I enjoyed a lot. I think my other favorite, I'm going to go back to angst, is right when Allison dies, when she like falls on his unconscious body, and she just has so many feelings, and she's worried about all these things and feelings. So, yeah.
Yay! Anybody else have any favorite scenes?
I'm gonna be super cliche and say Galvanize string scene, obviously.
Gross.
Clearly, nobody here agrees with you.
Right.
I hate that scene.
It's probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
Diana on the
I hate
chat.
it.
I also really love the it's pretty minor when they're an Icon, and what is it? Does Meredith scream or something? And her ears are bleeding, and he just kind of like wipes the side of her face, and he's just like the way he's just holding her.
his thumb fucking brushes her lip.
Yes,
He's so gentle with her.
like you were literally wiping blood off her face, and it could not be hotter. Like,
Well,
Shameless plug. Mad Grad 2011
I was gonna say,
as an Ash
I know this
series
scene.
wrote an incredible scene where Styles, after that moment where he like wipes the like it's a scene where like they're in Styles' bathroom in his house, or maybe Lydia's house, and she's like sitting like on the counter or something, and he's wiping the blood from her ear with a washcloth, and like, oh my god, it is so good. Go read it.
He's so gentle with
Yeah,
her. I
it's
think
really
that's
good.
really neat because he generally is a twitchy, spastic, flailing person, and he takes so much care with her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
She's a
my
porcelain
So, okay,
doll.
so everyone, Rachel, are you not even going to say what yours is? Do you want to, like, entertain the masses by shocking them?
So my favorite Stydia scene is the red string scene in Galvanize. I don't
Thanks,
know if
that's all I want to
anybody's
hear. You're welcome.
That's all right. Good moving on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it. That's all I cared about. So since it's the last season, what is the favorite moment of the show for you? Mine is the I looked at my friend scene with Scott. Like when I wrote that question down, that like instantly came to my head, and I was like, that's it. Like that's the show right there. Like, you know, how do you figure out how you're gonna like how do you figure out how you're gonna go on when you see what you've seen? And while I looked at my friends, one of the best shot scenes in the show, in my opinion.
Agreed.
In terms of scripting, in terms of how happy Scott looks, how Styles is like comes right up next to him and they're walking together. Like it doesn't even matter that like, you know, Lydia is standing with Aiden and then Allison is standing with Isaac, and like, you know, that could potentially hurt either of them. Like all that matters is they're in the circle with each other, and that is so perfect. That's my favorite.
I love in Riddled when they're in the waiting room and they're waiting for news about Styles after they found him, and they find out and there's just this sigh of relief. And I think there's just so much camaraderie and caring in that side. Like you're the glue that's kept us together. Nothing can happen to you where it looks like something's about to happen and everything's going to get fucked up from here. It's just there's this sense of foreboding and like, no, yes.
No.
I need to say that it just hit me a couple rewatches ago that it was a purposeful, I believe, directorial decision for Lydia to turn her face away from the camera so the audience couldn't see her reaction. Like, all we know is that she had such a heavy reaction that she moved her head, but she moved it away from the camera, and that fucks me up because, like, first of all, Lydia is such a private person and a private character that, like, she can't reveal to the audience, like, how she feels, like, she won't be vulnerable like that, but also, like, what she's feeling is so colossal that, like, the audience can't know it and like can't see it because like it's too much. Like it's such an obvious emphasized movement, and the fact that like it's away from camera instead of towards camera when usually a director wouldn't make that decision.
Usually you want to show the big emotion towards the camera.
Exactly. To me, that is like, oh! Sorry.
And like Scott doesn't break eye contact with the doctor, I don't think either, which is another like very purposeful thing. I think Scott's gonna face it head on.
Yeah.
My favorite scene. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Claire. Do you want to go?
No, you go. You go.
My favorite scene in the whole show is the ice bath scene, from the moment that they dunk them under. But my favorite part is the Mick Argynski, where they realize all of their stories are intertwined, and they have like that dramatic music, and they realize like everything revolves around the Nematon, and like that was Allison's car that almost hit Scott, and like all their lives were like together in that moment, and they had no idea. And like
Fate.
I get chills like just thinking about it. It was so well done. It was just like, Teen Wolf aside, like that was just such a monumental moment in television. Like
it was such a visually beautiful moment too, just with like the flowers and the ice, and
it was just
the way they were dressed in white.
Yeah. Oh my god, though, I loved it, and just like their realization that like they're all part of it. Like, oh my god, it's just amazing. I loved how they went all the way back and was like, no, this is from the beginning planned. Mm-hmm. So, oh my god, I loved it so much. Yeah.
I'm going to cheat because I do have a tie between my favorites.
I had a tie. I was the first one to answer.
So my first would, okay, in no particular order, the scene in, I'm not like you. I don't know what episode it was. It was the one when Styles goes in for the MRI. And the scene between him and Scott before he goes into the MRI.
God.
Yeah.
I'll do something.
Because as much as I do love Stydia, to me, Teen Wolf is Scott and Styles at the center of everything.
It's about two kids who find a dead body in the woods. That's how it started.
Exactly. And the fact that they have that moment and that Scott says to him, you know, whatever happens, I will fix this. Like, just their relationship is just the core of the entire show, and that scene actually made me cry, which is difficult. And that scene just like gets me every time. And then I guess tied with that would be Motel California.
No, you took mine.
You already
Friends, you're allowed to share.
Rachel.
You're allowed to share a favorite scene.
Yeah, obviously we know what scene I'm talking about, but you know, Scott holding the flare over the puddle of gasoline, and Styles' plea to him.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the fact that Lydia and Allison are watching, and to me, they are the core four. I mean, we lost Allison, yes, but just the looks on both of their faces, and the fact that Lydia does try to save them, but it's Lydia saving Styles who saves Scott. Just throwing
And
that
Allison
out
is the one who says that there's still hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know, I'm a sucker for Skiles. And I love that the Motel California throws in the girls in there. But
Yep. Mm-hmm.
just that,
And I love
that
that
really when,
trailers.
that's when there's good writing. Like, there's good writing.
Yeah, that was written by the guy who directed it, wrote it, and he's
Yeah.
like kind of well known for these really intense like bottleneck episodes. So it was like perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Rachel, what is your favorite scene
It was-
on Teen Wolf?
It's the Motel California scene that Claire just said.
I know. I just wanted to give you a chance to say it.
Also, the scene where Allison is, and I can't watch this very often, to be honest. The scene where Allison's talking to Chris in their garage while she's sculpting the arrowhead. Every time I watch it, it knocks the breath out of me. I've only been able to watch it maybe twice or 3 times, and the last time I watched it, I was like, I was sitting on the floor crocheting, and I just remember like throwing my crochet aside and just starting to sob hysterically. And like, I think I was still living at home. My mom just comes in and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm just going like, I'm like weeping, like shaking on the floor. I like could not I can't. Chris Sargent's grief and his life and the way the world has treated him and the loss that he's known, the fact that like in hindsight you see Allison saying, "I love you, I'm proud of you," after everything that they've been through together and everything they've lost, like it is a tremendous scene. And I don't think that familial relationships are focused on enough in most TV shows, but Teen Wolf does it extraordinarily well. And more than I needed closure with Scallison, to be honest, I needed closure with her and her dad. Like I needed that moment in order to feel okay about Allison dying, and I am truly, truly grateful that we got it.
Well, and I think because of that, that's why we've seen him on the show so many times since. I think I have feelings.
There's just so much to process with Chris Sargent, and he brings the hunter side. He's like the alternate Dean. He's got the other side of knowledge.
And he gives me hope because he's someone that has changed their prejudices for the better of his fighting. And I think now more than any other time in this world, we need to see narratives like that on our screens.
I truly believe that he will be like Uncle Chris to Scott's children. Like I have no doubt in my mind that he will come to Thanksgivings because he has nobody in this world, and I think that Scott knows that, and Scott will make sure that he knows that he has somebody, and he will feel like he's a part of a family, and that means the world to me.
Oh my god, stop it.
Oh,
Sorry.
No more feelings. No more.
You know, it's really
No
a really good way to like stave
more.
off Chris Sargent feels is remember that time that J.R. Bourne smiled at you. That's what I've been doing every time we talk about him.
When did you smile at Maggie?
At me. I said me. This isn't about Maggie. Okay.
Colin Firth.
You know what? Shut up, Rosemary.
So, other than
Context,
Studio being
everybody. Colin Firth told me "bless you" one time when I sneezed. Sorry, move on.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Other than obviously Studio being canon this season, it's about goddamn time. What are you most looking forward to from these plot lines this season, or how will 6A end / go straight into 6B? And I feel like we've covered this a lot. Like we're really excited to see Lydia.
Yeah.
This is an actual hyped Lydia scene where it is looking like it's going to deliver on Lydia plotline. Because season 4 was heavily hyped to be a Lydia scene. Holland was actually excited about season 4, and you could actually see her soul die when they were doing promotions because it became very clear that it was not going to be about Lydia. So, for the Lydia side, for Scott to get his confidence back as an alpha, I asked Will Wallace if he could describe Scott's plotline and a couple other writers. in a word or a phrase, and Will just said more because he's an asshole, like M-O-R-E more.
Ooh, wouldn't it be
Not-
cool if it was the other more?
Thomas More.
No, like anchor, like a more.
Oh, he didn't spell it like that though.
I know, I'm saying if it was the up. Wouldn't it be cool if it was the other more?
No, because Will Wallace isn't cool, Rachel.
That's true.
He's not up on his
podcast to the
right?
Will Wallace isn't cool podcast.
Yeah, like if Lydia is going to be, kind of falling apart, but being a leader this season, I need to see Scott like also rebuilding himself this season and like actually knowing that he is a wonderful person and that he has earned his right as an alpha and that he's going to use it to get his best friend back, and that is sort of going to be the thing that like heals Skiles way better than a shittily written apology could. It's going to be like, Styles is getting back to Lydia, but Styles is getting back to Scott too. So, and Malia Independence, but we all know how that's going to go, apparently.
Next.
Corey's death.
Corey's death! Or 17.
Anybody else looking forward to anything, or are we still dead inside?
I'm looking forward to the werewolf Nazi plot because I'm just really curious as to what the hell is going on with that.
I mean, I think
it's just going to be really amusing to watch.
he looks like he's in conflict with the Wild Hunt, but he was taken by the Dread Doctors, but he has a crazy whip thing, so he's like a Dread Doctor, Wild Hunt, werewolf thing.
Exactly.
Like, I mean,
it's
maybe
really, really ridiculous, and I'm looking forward to seeing how.
Yeah, I mean, like, I, to be honest, my entire hope was always like, oh, he's gonna be like the Claw guy, or in 5A, where it's like he got dispatched immediately, or he's gonna be like the Chimeras, where he's like, I'm lurking, and then ultimately dies by the end. But he's like around a lot in that first trailer.
It'd be funny if he was actually in like 15 minutes and then he died.
No.
There's like
it's
more
gonna
than
be
15 minutes of
Terry.
him in the promo itself. Like, there's no way. Yeah, it sucks. So, request to talk about 516. What are your thoughts on Styles Saved Me and seeing Styles like that towards Lydia?
10:30.
Like, we already talked about this. We have this question and then two more, but one is like saying our blog titles. So,
Okay.
like, don't worry.
We already did that.
Yeah,
What
so,
do we
like,
think about it? We think it's absolutely amazing.
Styles
I
was
think
very
all of us were pretty knocked on our ass.
Well, just the style saved me, and the fact that, okay, there were some other people involved. A little bit.
Well, she says they
but-
saved me first, like, to fix it.
Yes, but essentially she is calling out him, and she knows how much he put into it, and we all know that he was a driving force in it. So the fact that she calls him out specifically is kind of like it was a balm to our soul.
Yes.
It was a bomb to our soul.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
I just love the
Both
fact
like
that
a bomb and like a soothing bomb.
it was both.
It was
That-
a bomb.
It's a
It was
bath
like
bomb
ice
to our
to this-
soul.
I really loved the fact that like we got spoiled a lot for this episode, and at the same time, like that last scene, like we said earlier in this, oh my god, I was so surprised. Like I thought that it was over, like when they were in the Jeep. Like I was like, all right, my heart's calmed down, like we're good, like this is the end of the episode, nothing's gonna happen. And then like this like table scene happens, and I'm like, okay.
Even the part when it's revealed that like when Valak comes back in to talk to Lydia, it's revealed that Styles was there the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And like we didn't see that. Like we saw the part where she's begging him to go, and then I think we were like trying to like set up the timeline. We're like, it just doesn't make sense. Like he would never leave her in that vulnerable state, and he didn't. He was there the entire time.
I came through.
Oh my god! When it showed like he was standing there, I was like, it was just
Like, if Valak was about to do something to Lydia, I have no doubt that he would have jumped in there and saved her ass in 2
I'm
seconds.
so mad that flaming Cheeto Corey like hit him because he like literally stood in front of Valak and Lydia and was about to throw down. I was like, put your dukes up, Stilinski. Like, let's go. I want to see you like beat some ass. Like,
He
I'm
probably
so mad.
had like a lightsaber replica like in his back pocket.
Oh
just
no,
ready to
that
pull
was
it out
that
and
was in
duel.
Allison's grave. Don't you remember?
Don't Will. Come on,
No.
Will Wallace does not get these characters.
Oh my god.
I usually stay away from Will Wallace's Twitter just because I disagree with both things that come out of his mouth, or
Yeah.
He's
people,
real shitty. He's real
Um,
bad.
I happened to see that because it was one of those days that somebody was referencing something that he had said, and I was like, I should probably know what this is. And he said that,
Nah,
and I was
Stan
like,
Angela.
I don't think we're watching the same show.
Whenever he says
Man,
something, I'm
you
like,
know-
oh, you said that. Okay.
Okay, real talk. When a girl who you indirectly got killed is stabbed with a sword, don't put a lightsaber in her grave, even though it's the color that you really, really like.
Oh my god.
Why did they let him near anything?
He's like, he doesn't actually do all that much writing, so he's just always on Twitter, is what I figured out.
Then do they know? Do you think Jeff even knows that he's on Twitter talking about these characters? Can we get him?
Wow.
Can we replace him?
Rosemary.
Plies.
Wallace,
so
if you're watching this, just come to us if you need to do any headcanons. We got you.
So my last thought on 516 with like regards to seeing styles like that with her, I actually, unlike Rachel, really liked Dylan's acting in that scene because
You're not
he was
calling
a
out on that.
master.
I was in shock.
Because he was doing like this really, really intense restraint where like, and Raina pointed this out to me, that you could see that he was like for 5 minutes in like a constant state of don't let the tears fall. And like his shaking was just so like gentle and like tentative. Like it
I
was
love it when
really
he-
well done.
Oh my god.
So that was beautiful. The fact that like they could go from this, and I think that was another reason why they had him maybe directed to do this, is this was like a super high intensity, crazy running scene, and then like the world goes still, and even Styles goes still, and they don't know what's gonna happen. So I loved it. I loved that episode.
I
I
love
should have
that
ranked it higher on my
scene.
favorite thing.
Sorry, I was in shock when it first came
Rachel,
out.
it took
and,
like a
was
month for you to
analyzing-
like it. It took like a
Yeah.
month.
Come on, Rachel.
Rachel, don't you know you're not allowed to have feelings or thoughts about anything ever?
No, she's just not allowed to have the wrong ones.
I was in shock.
Hey, this is a place of acceptance, and you're allowed to have any opinion you want. The only standing opinion you need to have in STYDIACAST is you need to like Stydia.
I don't
And use condoms.
I feel like
Have you-
I don't like Stydia that much. I don't think.
Shut up. Let's move on.
Those are cute.
So,
Thanks.
okay. So, this was a really funny question. Second to last one, basically the last real question. When is the STYDIACAST story coming to Lifetime? Can you give a dramatic retelling of how STYDIACAST came to be? And so I think that for it to come to Lifetime, we have to, gotta get through Rosemary first. She holds the rights to our beautiful story.
The rights. Oh, I didn't buy anything. I mean, like that we'd have to have a contract that says that somewhere.
I know, but like if Lifetime came
Rosemary,
knocking, we would
always
write
get
one.
it in writing. Did Peter tell you nothing?
Oh, what do I do for a living? Yeah.
But,
So basically, everything is Claire's fault because
What?
Claire made me start watching Teen Wolf. Therefore, I started following Teen Wolf blogs, and then I started following Rachel Rongasm's blog, and she was like, "Oh, we should do a Stydia podcast," and I was like, "Oh, I know how to do this." Claire and I write and produce a podcast. Oh, I know how to do this. And I was like, hey, do you like actually want to do this? You don't know who I am, and I don't have a Teen Wolf blog at all. You have no reason to trust me. Do you want to do this?
Don't trust me.
Trust me.
Trust me. And Rachel was like, yeah.
This is a terrible story.
I'm gonna tell this more dramatically than you are. Okay.
I'm not good at dramatic telling.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It all started in a text message.
It all started because I was taking a class called Race, Gender, and Sexuality in New Media. And
I did
we
not.
were what?
So I did not know this. This is why you're much better at telling the story than I am, because I just know and I use Bandcamp sometimes to do this together. Go ahead.
Okay. I was taking a class called Race, Gender, and Sexuality in New Media, and we were doing a unit on podcasting. Simultaneously, I was doing an internship for which my job was to I was doing an internship for a marketing executive for a marketing company that she owned. It was I was constantly interacting with social media platforms for different types of clients that my boss had. And so I was seeing the way marketing was playing into, I just connected this concept of marketing and podcasting. And it was all because of Rachel Madgride 2011's fic Out of the Ash. I wanted to have a way to like talk about it with people and broadcast how much I loved the fic. And so because of the course I was taking, English 302, in combination with my marketing internship, I just spliced these three things together and went, oh my God, we should have a podcast where we book review Stydia fan fiction. And so I texted Maggie and I texted Rachel and I was like, what do you think about this? And they were like, yeah. And Rachel was like, I'm not going to be on it.
I was like, yeah, good luck with that. I'll do everything I can to help, but like, I hate my voice. Bye.
And then Maggie was like, bitch, get my ass on this podcast. And so
Maggie and I are the angel and the devil on Rachel's show.
So I kind of like put it on my blog, like as a concept. I was like, would anybody be interested in this? And then I got a message from Rosemary and I went, I don't know this person, but you know what? Like, I'm ready. Let's fucking do this. And so I messaged a bunch of other people who I know on Tumblr, who I know are lovely people who love Lydia Martin and are intelligent people and love Stydia. And obviously, like, I didn't get, like, if I had my way, I'd have, like, so many more people on this podcast. But I'm blessed to have the people who said yes, say yes. I tried to get Jade, but didn't work out. So she was like the third person I asked, and she was my like only person who was like, I don't want to. And I was like, Jade, no!
You don't count me like me saying go away as an I don't want to, or did you just decide to be more persistent with me?
I just knew that if I did the Hogwarts fic, I could take you down.
Well, you were like, oh, the first two are going to be Out of the Ash and the Hogwarts AU, and I was like,
yeah, and so
I brought Claire because I wasn't doing it without Claire because Claire's magical.
She was like, let's go to Panera and then I'm going to make you do this thing.
I love that.
Okay, but I make you buy me soup.
Wasn't it a bread bowl at least?
I think
I
even
Claire,
said, like, I don't want to be on anymore past those two. It's like, yeah, I'll do those two, and then I'll see you later, Rachel. Don't worry about it.
No, it's turned into a really fun thing. And when I said, hey, Rachel, I know how to do this, I do the editing and I do the designy stuff, and it's always nice to have an outlet for those things. So.
This is season 3 agenda. Woo woo.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
We've been working on that for a while.
Yep, I used my pens on that one, too.
Oh, yeah. I also have where am I? I also use my pens. They're so brightly colored.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
staplers.
I'm
Nice.
spreadsheet crazy, so everything I do is multicolored spreadsheets.
Me too. Well, yeah, you guys should see the STYDIACAST folder. It's got so many spreadsheets in it.
I mean, it would be a really good Lifetime movie, though, because it's about lady friendship, and Lifetime likes lady friendships. And we're all white, and Lifetime likes white girls. Like,
Anya's not white.
Ooh, problem.
I wonder if we can.
Anya will get written out.
Yeah.
Like, is she but like, okay, there always has to be one plucky, different person. So you know, it's still
token, not white girl.
yeah. I mean, like,
Oh,
the funny-
Lifetime.
I'm only ragging on Lifetime like this because my mom was watching it and I just walked past to see like the commercials and they showed like a literal montage of their Christmas movies and there was not a single non-white person in them. And I was like,
Sometimes I watch
here.
Lifetime movies. I watch them on fast forward, and I try to guess the plot. And I go back through and skip.
fun fact,
We
though,
should
Jill
do that at
Wagner.
STYDIACAST retreat weekend.
Jill Wagner is going to be on one though, who played Kate Argent. So I mean,
Who knows?
I just want to say,
It's
so
fake.
quickly before we move on. That STYDIACAST would work so well as a Lifetime movie, but also that like these ladies walked into my life when everybody when a relationship was ending and someone was walking out, and I wasn't sure like how to go forward with it, but real.
It would be
No,
very.
it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful just because so much shit has happened in my life since we started this. Claire and I graduated from grad school, and then I got my dream job and moved to New York and have lived in 2 apartments. I believe we were recording like the 2nd or 3rd episode, and I was getting my first apartment as we were recording, like in the middle of it.
Yeah, you were
I remember that. Oh.
You were like, Roasty,
are you okay?
I was like, I think I just got an apartment in Manhattan. That didn't work out.
Yeah, she abandoned.
Yeah, usually when we're like almost done with the episode, I do like a pause and I'm like, okay guys, what didn't we talk about yet that we want to talk about? And like, so we're doing the pause and I'm like, Rosemary, like, are you still with us?
And I hadn't talked in a very long time.
Like, just getting an apartment, no big deal.
It's not a thing. Don't worry about it.
I have to be in New York in a week and a half.
Yeah.
All worked out.
So the last question, that should not take very long. It's very simple. Do all of you have Teen Wolf blogs? If not, what kind of blog do you have? And I saw we got an ask that some people are confused about what all of our blogs are, because we said them at the beginning. I am Rachel, with Rachel with red hair. I mostly have a Teen Wolf blog, but I also blog a lot of Harry Potter, Shadowhunters, and a mishmash of other things. It's always Lydia. Everything.
I am Maggie. I am Red String Banshee. I am the Maggie with the red hair.
She's the one who looks like Colin Roden, like a fucking bitch.
And so I do have a Teen Wolf blog. It's a Stydia blog, although I occasionally, blog other things. But yes, it is a Teen Wolf blog.
What is it?
What?
Didn't
I?
URL.
Okay, I think maybe you just froze on me when you said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Red String Banshee.
Okay.
I'm Claire. I'm Fudgy the Oh!
Go! Claire. Claire, you go.
This is awkward.
She has to wait. Claire, you go.
Okay.
I'll go last.
I'm Claire. I'm Fudgy the Whale on Tumblr. FUDGY. It's an ice cream cake. So my blog is, I reblog all sorts of things, a lot of Teen Wolf. Mostly I blog random shit that my dad says because he's insane. And original fiction. I can't write fanfic, but I do write my own stuff.
She's really good.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Thanks. Rachel's going last, Rosemary.
Oh, okay. Why? Okay.
She said she
Whoa,
wants to
someone
go
literally
last.
just followed me. That's cool.
Okay, so I am ro-your-boat on Tumblr. I'm Rosemary. Hi. I do not have a Teen Wolf blog. I have a whatever my whim is at that moment blog, which is I reblog occasional fandom things, all different fandoms, Night Vale, Teen Wolf occasionally, Marvel. Mostly aesthetic stuff. I like pretty pictures. Pretty pictures make me happy. If something makes me laugh, I like that too. So it's a generally whatever I think is cool blog. I don't know.
So I'm Rachel. I'm Rongasm on Tumblr. I'm brunette Rachel. I'm unattractive Rachel.
Stop it. I'll sit on you.
I'm sorry, that was so instinctive.
You will see me in a week, and I'm gonna sit on you.
Anyways, I was supposed to have a
What did I tell you
blog.
about saying mean things about your
Rosemary,
friends?
we're doing a live podcast, okay? I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, you're not. No, I need to have my insincere Rachel apology tally.
Okay, so I was supposed to have a multi-fandom blog, but it's basically a Teen Wolf blog because I answer a lot of asks on it that are about Teen Wolf. I reblog a lot of Teen Wolf. Also a shit ton of Harry Potter. I have a Harry Potter URL, and I reblog a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jade the Virgin, Marvel,
Pride and Prejudice.
Shadowhunters. So much Pride and Prejudice. Every version of Pride and Prejudice.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, as am I.
Every version. If I see Pride and Prejudice on my desk, I slam my finger against 3 block buttons so fast it gets whiplash. So that's what I'm a hoe for.
And for our other girls who aren't here, Rachel, MadGrad 2011, Corey, Saving Skiles, and then our 2 lovely production girls, Lauren she's Holland Roden, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's Holland Roden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawrence Holland Roden. The URL of the lifetime.
The URL,
Seriously.
she literally like killed someone to
What
get.
did she kill for that?
She slit someone with her immaculately manicured nails.
We
She just, like,
suspect
slit someone's
Jeffrey-
throat.
She's going to the Teen Wolf Scent in January too.
Yeah, and we're gonna
She's
talk to
living
her
with
about
it.
her experience.
And then Zoe, who runs our Twitter, who is Alonz-AlonzWin, I'm pretty sure, on Tumblr. And if you go to the STYDIACAST Tumblr and go to the affiliates tab, we're all there.
All of our
You
links.
can find us. Yep, and I think that the last four, they all pretty much have multi-fandom blogs as well. Lauren's maybe the most specifically Teen Wolf related. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Claire and
so-
I also write and produce a podcast that has a Tumblr that's not really active right now. But we write and produce a podcast called The Zelda Roy Show that Rachel's going to do a voice for us. Rachel Broncasm,
voice.
Rachel's going to do a voice
It's
for
gonna
us
be
on there.
awesome.
We're having a lot of fun with it. So it's like a radio drama style thing that you should totally listen to.
And if you aren't totally annoyed by the sound of my voice, you should listen because I'm
It's mostly Claire.
because I'm in it. Okay, so this is the wrap up. Thank you so much, you guys, for sticking it out with us for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're almost done. We're in the home stretch. I know it's Sunday night, and I know Monday morning is really unfriendly looking. So for season three, what we are going to do is we are going to, instead of discussing fan fiction, we are going to give the fanfic community time to build up a good store, and we are going to be strictly talking about Teen Wolf episodes. We are going from fanon to canon, just like Cydia. Oh my god. And like with these questions that you guys sent us, we also want you to send in your questions, your theories. What did you like? What did you hate about the episodes? We're going to be recording them the weekend-ish after the episode airs, and they will go up the Monday. Right? It's a Monday midnight sort of thing. So you have all of Monday to watch and revisit before Tuesday. We're going to have like a bunch of different sections and themes for what we're doing for each episode. It's not just going to be us talking. It's still going to be a lot of us talking, but it's going to be a lot more diversified in what we're talking about.
We have segments now.
Yeah, we have segments now. Rosemary's going to be looking at a clock for every segment, ready to beat our asses when we go over.
Yes, and you're all going to get mad at me when I yell at you.
I know, and
that's
I'm
our
sorry.
reason.
Isn't that the way?
I'm sorry in advance. And then
You're
that's
sorry,
that.
Rachel's not.
One time Rachel went, Rosemary's gonna send Rachel a poop emoji for going over this far, and Rosemary actually sent me a poop emoji.
Yes, okay. So, you've also probably seen on our Tumblr, we are doing holiday gifts. So, if you want a special STYDIACAST holiday greeting card, all you have to do is be following our Tumblr at STYDIACAST. Reblog the post that has it. It's been reblogged by all of us countless times. It's on the STYDIACAST Tumblr countless times. Reblog that and then send us your address in an ask. And then for every 20 of those that we send out, one of them is going to be sealed with a kiss. And if you get the card that is sealed with a kiss, you get some swag. And that is a Drabble from one of the STYDIACAST contributors. You're going to get up to $25 of merch from the store, and you are going to get access to our Twitter account where you're going to be live tweeting an episode, which is something that we're also going to be stepping up with. A bunch of other different blogs are going to be heavily live tweeting from the STYDIACAST Twitter account, so be sure to follow that.
We have really cool guest live tweeters. I'm so excited about it.
At Stydia_cast on Twitter. And the very last thing that, if you're still here, that we are going to be...
No, and people are.
We're going to
we
be...
got 25 people. Our peak was 42.
Amazing. So the very last thing that we are doing is a partnership with Cydia Month, which is the STYDIACAST Cydia Month Big Bang, and Rachel is going to talk about that because she has been the one really spearheading that.
So a Big Bang...
And
I'm going to go fast so we can all go to bed. So a Big Bang is a collaboration to be a big content push for the fandom. It's between writers, artists, beta readers, and reviewers. And basically what it is everybody comes together, and the writer thinks of a story idea and is assigned an artist and a beta reader, and then the artist does whatever they want to do, like around what the writer's doing. And then for our case, we are assigning reviewers to write basically word limit reviews in AO3. So like you fill up the character limit in AO3 for the fic. We want to thank the writers for all the hard work that they do. The fics have to be 10,000 words or above, and we're hoping to get 10 people to write 10,000 words or above fics, myself included. So that's just 9 other people, which I think is achievable. I'm really hoping. And then we also have a 10,000 words or below section where you don't get assigned a beta reader or reviewer, but you do get assigned an artist, and you two are going to be working together to kind of collab on what you want the fic and the art to be. An artist can be videos, graphics, gift sets, whatever. We just don't want like edits, because we want the artist to try to spend as much time as they can, as much time as the writer, because the writer is spending so much time to get this done. So anyways, we really will have signups. I'm going to post them tomorrow. Like, I'm going to post the Google form tomorrow. So please go to the STYDIACAST and Stydia Month blogs and look for the forums to sign up. And like I said, if you don't like producing content, then what you can do is you can review or you can beta read. You can also do multiple, like if you want to be a reviewer and a beta reader, or like be an artist and a reviewer, etc., etc. Then yeah, just help contribute to the fandom so that we can have more content and show people that they're loved and have a community and camaraderie, because Big Bangs are really fun, and I myself am really looking forward to seeing what you guys put out and getting to read all of your amazing, incredible work and see your incredible art.
So,
Yay, people.
this has
Did I
been...
miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
This has been STYDIACAST, the live cast episode of bigness. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone who stayed since 8:30. We love you very much. We appreciate you very much. Thank you, Rachel, Rosemary, Maggie, and Claire for joining me on this journey, because it was a journey. We'll see you guys on Tumblr and Twitter on Tuesday, and then we're kicking off season 3 of STYDIACAST with season 6 of Teen Wolf. Get hype!
Hey guys, next time you hear our voices, Stydia's gonna be canon. What?
Use protection.
Why? Every time.
Oh
Make
my
a choice.
goodness. Say no to deputies who are way too old for you.
Say no to Parrish.
Every time. Actually, yeah, for everything. For everything. Say no to Parrish.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Tyler. Bye.